Natty State Studio, the sports media palace of Mid-America, the Wolf of Center Street. Here's your host, John Nabors.
And welcome into the John Nabors Show here live from the Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate everybody listening in and watching in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Nabors, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. It's a Friday, folks, so you made it. It's the weekend and getting kicked off the right way. It's going to be a beautiful weekend in Fayetteville, too. So we're going to have a lot of things to discuss because not only do you have Razorback Baseball going on right now as we speak, but we'll be trying to provide you some updates for those of you maybe not able to listen to it or maybe just want to watch it with us for whatever reason. That works, too. But we're going to talk about that, and I guess we'll maybe talk basketball. I mean, they got Kentucky tomorrow in Rupp. Back when that game used to mean something, used to be something fun. And they're going over there to Rupp, and it's going to be on CBS. And all right, cool. So we'll talk about that as well as some other college football differences now because they actually are implementing some new rules, some having to do with the clock, some having to do with things that really shouldn't matter or shouldn't be done. But we're still going to get into all of it and discuss it too, especially Ross Dellinger, who always does a great job of covering all things college football. He's got a lot of different tweets that he's been putting out, and, of course, he puts out a symbolic cocktail drink, which means it's getting pretty crazy and pretty wild over there. But either way, we're going to talk about it all. And, of course, we want to get to your comments and anything that you want to have discussed. You can just jump into the chat with us and hit us up, and we're going to have some fun with it too. But either way, we'd be remiss, of course, if we didn't go ahead and also introduce the rest of the crew today, at least for a little bit for the most part. But we got Curtis Wilkerson and Scotty Borderland. So, guys, game day eve for basketball, right?
Woo-hoo.
Pumped?
Oh, yeah. I was going to open with we have breaking news.
We do. Okay, head us up. What is it?
Courtesy of Kyle Parkinson.
Oh.
Sam Pittman will be available to preview spring practices at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, March 5th. Arkansas's first spring practice is next Thursday, March 7th. That is at 8:25 in the morning, which sign me up.
I'm all for that.
And then players available at 10:40 on Friday. The practice viewing 8:50. Coach Pitt at 11:10. And then there's nothing until next Tuesday or until the following Tuesday. So
great.
It's here.
So
I'm so cool with that.
So we can now talk football like legitimately almost.
That's right.
We can actually go into talking about spring practices and who's looking good, who's going to be the star of the spring, and Sam Pittman's going to give us things of that nature. A lot, so I can't wait to dive into it. But at least we have it to talk about. At least we have it.
I can't wait to ask him about Josh Braun.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, well, listen, it's funny because as we speak, we have the Boss Hog podcast being recorded in our podcast room right now. So I think, what is it probably, guys? Half the offensive lines come through here today, it seems like.
Yeah, man. It's been a madhouse in here today, and it's been pretty cool. Yeah, Braun has been he's been getting after it. So, yeah, a lot of guys coming in and out. We were shooting a little promo thing in here. Me and Scotty had a dunk contest earlier today here in the office, and we've done a lot. It's been a hard day of work, but we've got through it, and so I'm happy to be on this show now. But no, man, I'm pretty pumped for spring ball. I loved it in fall camp when they were doing the AM practices. Mm-hmm. You get out there early, like it's not too hot, first of all, which is nice. But there's just something about it, like the sun is kind of coming up, and the guys are out there getting after it, and kind of gives you the whole day to reset and talk about it a little bit. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's good. Gives us the afternoons for, baseball and hoops for as long as that's a thing, which is probably about 2 more weeks. And, it's good times.
Yeah,
There's nothing like the first practice stretch that you get to watch. And
Heck
then, when they throw the pads on, nothing like the pads popping for the first time. Love to see guys flying around, spinning it, as they say. And I'm going to be watching Bobby Petrino's every step. So
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm probably going to be doing the same, and it's probably going to annoy him. Like, he's probably going to notice how much I'm watching him. I feel
like
like
you're job shadowing him.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
it'll
probably
be
going
that
to
kinda
think that
deal.
we're like his analysts,
Yeah.
GAs or whatever. They're just kind of following him around.
We can pull it off.
Sure. If he wants that, I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we are right above it. We can help him out and do some scouting for him and let him know, hey, this is which quarterback we want to start. And, yeah, I'm sure he'll totally listen to us. But it's nice to know that we at least have a schedule out and that we know what to look forward to next week and getting into practice and everything, too. Because I know with Sam Pittman, at least, again, things of that nature is going to be said. I know that.
This, that, and the other.
This, that, and the other. What other?
To be perfectly honest with you.
Ooh,
Yep,
yeah.
that's a great
Yep.
one. He does say that one a lot. To be perfectly honest with you, something about the kids. He says the kids a lot.
Yeah, our kids work hard.
Yeah, they're good kids.
He's Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Good,
Yeah.
good
Who-
descriptor.
That's going to be like, we should just make predictions on who he's going to say is Arkansas first.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
I
Like if
that a lot.
Criswell has a good day,
But
like that first week, I mean, this kid's Arkansas.
He's
now.
Arkansas,
He
man.
left, but he's Arkansas, so he came back.
Well, I'm trying to
Fighting
think
for
of
a
who would be the one, and like, cause again, as far as giving the odds out, if we were doing some Vegas type stuff and looking at it, it's like, all right, so who's going to be the one that ends up being that guy, and maybe the second and then the third most likely too.
Dark horse Hudson Clark.
He's been around a while.
He's been around for a while. Yeah, he's kind of got the. I mean, you think about it. Like Grant Morgan was Arkansas, walk on to a key player. Same thing with his buddy at linebacker Henry, and just that he fits the mold. Hudson Clark. I'm just saying. I think he
Yeah.
might be the guy.
I think the Andrew Armstrong hype train is going to
Yes.
start from like day one.
Yep.
Like I think they're going to be pushing him and Landon Jackson. And then I think
Luke Has.
Luke has for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to get Bobby's going to feed the studs. Those are Armstrong and Has are the studs now.
Yeah, no, which I'm fine with. Like, I want to see actually players be exploited for their strengths. Like if they're fast. Okay, like Isaiah Satania, we keep hearing about how fast he is. He's a burner. Okay, so give him the ball
Get the
and
man
let
the
him do
pill.
something with it. Like that's what I want. So,
My dad is in the chat. He said we need a bingo board.
ooh,
Coming soon.
yeah. that could be like the most fun game you could play, especially with like when it's all the negative stuff too. It just forget
Oh,
the
yeah.
positives.
Pittman presser bingo.
Dude.
Or just spring ball bingo.
Dude, yes, let's do this.
Both.
Yeah, we got to start putting it. We got a few days. We can put it together over the weekend.
Who's the first one Bobby loses it on while we're out there? That could be fun.
Ooh. I say it's got to be. It's going to be a wide receiver. I think
Probably.
so because he always was really nice about quarterbacks and like hey, okay, we're good. No. It's going to be a wide receiver. 'cause
Meticulous about those routes, man.
I'm telling you.
What did he used to have perfect Thursdays back in the day?
Yep.
And
Yep.
he's going to like first day of spring ball is a Thursday.
Dude, I'm getting excited.
So
Let's say I'm
There
going
you
to start
go.
having to
Start
button up
perfect
buttoning this
Thursday
shirt
immediately.
right now, dude. I'm getting all hot and bothered from this stuff talking about some football. But yeah, no, it's going to be great next week, and we're going to have some great content on Natty State Sports. So be sure to follow us on all forms of social media as well as our YouTube page. Razorback Baseball currently happening right now. Wish we could show it, but we can't. But we're watching it. Arkansas's up 3-1.
Overcame a rocky start.
Dude, so I was there for a split second at the Razorback game. Just wanted to, make an appearance. And what was it, second pitch, I think,
Yep.
of the game? Kagan Smith gives up a bomb. I mean,
Oppo Taco, man.
That thing went flying. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. Is it going to be something to where Hagen Smith ends up being like the anti-bomb walker? Like he doesn't do well in bomb walker. He has to be away from home to do it. Well, luckily for at least all of us and dealing with it, and especially for Hagen Smith, since that point in time, that's the only hit he's given up. It's the only run he's given up. And he's also at the point to where he's got 11 strikeouts.
No big deal.
wow.
Yeah.
I feel like 15 minutes ago he had 6.
Yeah.
He's got 11.
Seems like a little bit of an off day by his standards, but it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
we'll let him slide.
Yeah. Because it's at the bottom of the 5th inning right now. So I'm maybe curious how long Dave Van Horn ends up keeping him in there. But that just cracks me up. Like, it's incredible. Like, we saw what happened last week and against Oregon State. And when that bomb kind of was like, okay, how's it going to happen? It just goes to show you, it's just baseball. Just baseball.
Yeah.
That's what happens. But then to respond where, all right, I'm just going to strike out 11 and not even be done yet and not even let that home run impact me whatsoever.
Yeah, that was a great bounce back from Hagan. Is like if that facility out in straightaway right field wasn't there, that ball would be looking for a table at Foghorns, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one was
launched.
Ball got tattooed.
Yeah, and it's probably not ideal for your first 4 batters in the lineup to be a combined 0 for 9 right now.
No.
The bottom of the order is, picking them up a little bit. They're not knocking the cover off the ball today, but 3 runs, 5 hits, and enough to get back in the lead. Good to see Aloy with a couple very hard hit baseballs so far today. So, yeah, maybe they'll come around a little bit here and get it under control. Murray State's good though, man.
Yeah,
like those dudes they're pretty good. I was listening to him talk about this starter, this Cade Vernon dude, right before the game started. He was a guy for him last year. And he's been pretty solid this year. Big dude too. He's like 6'2", 210. He's got the forearm tat, so he looks like a Friday night guy.
Yeah. He's legit.
Yeah, that's how you know they're legit if they got the ink on the forearm.
Is that all Hagen Smith needs to just like
I think
strike
so.
out
To
20
be on
guys?
27 straight? Yeah. I think he just needs some ink.
Yeah, he needs to talk to Mason Molina.
Yeah,
Mason
he's got some
Molina,
good stuff.
Mason Molina got some stuff going on.
Same with
forearms.
Tigert. Tigert's got a lot going on in his forearms. And then, of course, Aloy has, it's the forearms, man. That's what could be the difference between being okay and being good. So
That's what I noticed about Parker Rowland when we were talking to him before I guess it was after Arkansas's practice day in Arlington. I mean, he got some. I love looking at tattoos and asking dudes about tattoos. I bet there's some good stories behind those. But yeah, I think that's all Hagen needs. Just go ahead and get a sleeve, brother. Why not?
do you guys have tattoos? I should probably know this.
I
So
got one.
So Scotty's got a tattoo.
I got one. That's it.
tat free? I'm saving up for the perfect tramp stamp. I haven't decided yet on the design. So
Oh, so you want a tramp stamp,
yeah,
but you don't know the design of the tramp stamp, but you're waiting on it to happen at the right time.
right now I'm between a few things. My short list is down to 3, and one of them is that picture of you that's sitting there on the
gosh.
desk. So just stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
He said the other one is his dog Slim Jim. He's thinking about that one.
And then shirtless Muss
Yeah.
is the third option. So,
Which game from Shirtless Muss?
well, definitely Kansas, just because he was right in front of us. Like when he ripped his shirt off, like his sweat hit us. He was so close to us. So
Ew.
it's just a picture that's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair because he's also been a guy that has a lot of great pictures. I've noticed, like when I've been going through the archives. Not saying he's photogenic, but he doesn't hide emotions well, like in his facial expression. So it's always there's so many things that are going on there. You could add pictures to.
Oh yeah.
I think he's gonna probably. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna hold for him, but I'm sure he'll have some tomorrow that'll be pretty dumb.
He needs. Well, I mean, I guess he's already been tossed out of a game. Like he at least needs to get a tech soon. I feel like it's been boiling up. It's about time for him to lose it on somebody, some poor official.
Yeah. At the same time, though, like he's. I feel like he's due for a blow up, but at the same time, a lot of times when those blow ups, like the official, like he can't argue with an official too much because this team fouls way too much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so he can't really. He's like, oh, I hate that you called that, but yeah, he probably did foul, and so he's not going to get. It might take something.
It's hard to overreact too. Like when you're having this kind of year,
Yeah.
you're just losing game after game, and it's like, oh.
It doesn't put you to the level of like you're so highly competitive because you know what's on the line. You know, like, oh, this is seeding, this is a tournament bid, this is placement in the SEC tournament. It's like what's on the line here is just games that you could win that don't mean anything in the long run.
Yeah, you could
Pretty much it.
you could put a lot of heat on John Calipari's seat, like not fire wise, but just give him a lot more scrutiny if you go and win that game in Rupp. Like they've kind of stunk at home this year anyway, and fans have not appreciated that. And even though they're playing well, like they've kind of underachieved this season relative to expectations and like all the blue chip recruits they have in there. So if Arkansas goes in and beats Kentucky, that you hand them a quad 4 loss, and that's going to be really damaging. And that's one of those where Calipari, he likes to like skip his press conferences and send an assistant sometime. He would probably go that route if Arkansas goes in there and wins tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But see, here's the thing: is I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm not predicting they're going to win.
Oh yeah, we're not either.
No one is. But I do see it being one of those stupid random games like has happened at Rupp, that happened last year, where it's just like, okay, this team beat Kentucky and Rupp. It's kind of like, a few years ago when the Michael Qualls putback dunk happened. Arkansas beat Kentucky and Rupp that year too. And that Arkansas team barely made the NIT. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel like that I could totally see that happening tomorrow, where it's either Arkansas wins it or it ends up being a game coming down to the wire and, Caleb Battle goes for 45 and, somebody random comes out like Davenport's going out there and hitting 20 points. I mean, it's going to be something weird and dumb.
That would be very weird.
Yeah,
and Davenport make enough shots to get to 20.
That's true.
The return of Jalen Graham, big game.
What about
big game Graham?
What about Minifield? Is he going to play? Like, do we know?
He might be available.
Might be available.
This is so dumb.
He got that DNP last time they played Kentucky.
Yeah,
that's true. I forgot about that.
Defend?
Who of any of them going to defend?
Fair.
like that's the thing is I don't know who's going to guard who. Does it matter? I mean, really, does it matter? I think just from what we've watched, Battle seems to be at least improved defensively from what it was.
Effort.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know.
No, man. And we talked about it a little bit on the pod at the Palace today. Like, a little bit irritated that it seems like Muss might be trying to fix what's not broken, like with just trying to get Brazil back in there, so quickly. And he's already talking about maybe playing more traditional lineups. So maybe like two bigs or whatever. But the 4-guard thing was working, even though they had to do it out of necessity. But it's not as simple as just doing that either, because like Devo played 13 minutes the other day and you didn't really see much out of him. Mark looks like he's not right. Maybe it's the shoulder, maybe it's something else. And then you never know what you're going to get out of L, or do we really expect Battle to go for 40 for a third straight game or whatever? So I mean, who knows, man? I'm just going to sit, watch, and smile and comment on the live stream. So
yes, we are still doing a live stream, folks.
It's possible that KB goes for another big game. Like this Kentucky team, I don't want to say that they're allergic to sitting down and guarding somebody, but feels like it's been optional for whoever's out there all season.
It's not a great Kentucky team. No. It really isn't.
No, but talent-wise, like they might be, man for man, the most talented group in the country.
It's just like Calipari and Kentucky in a nutshell. It's like potentially every year they are good enough to win a championship. But then for whatever reason, like what was it? They went on the road and beat Auburn like handedly.
Oh, yeah blew them out.
And then it was LSU.
Right.
It's like, what is happening? Like, how you guys are almost as bipolar as Arkansas. The only difference is you got more wins.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, when we were in Arlington last weekend, we had the little watch party out at Texas Live. And Arkansas beats Missouri, and then between that and the baseball game, we're sitting and watching Alabama and Kentucky. And Kentucky scored 61 points in the first half. They scored 63 the whole game at Bud Walton last month. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It just makes no sense.
I don't even know.
But at the same time, Cal's like, this team plays better on the road than it does at home. But I guess Bama just caught Kentucky on the wrong day at home.
It's basketball. And can we just say that? It's just basketball. That's what happens. I'm looking at it now just to get an idea of what the line and everything is at. I had it pulled up here. Have you guys seen the
13 and a half? That's what I saw. About an hour ago.
That is a lot, though.
It's a lot,
dude.
man.
I'm. You know what? I said I wasn't going to do it. I'm probably going to take Arkansas.
There we go. He's back.
No way Arkansas loses by 2 touchdowns, right?
That is quite a few points.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think even beforehand, like on Ken Palm, and those lines are pretty close. I think it had Kentucky by 15, and then Alabama next weekend by 17. It's just crazy. Even like on the road. What was Arkansas at Mississippi State a couple weekends ago? Like, was it 10 and a half, 12 and a half? Like, it got.
I think it was 10 and 12. I think it's 12. 12 and a half. It was 12.
Yeah,
and a half,
it got pretty thick there for a while, and they covered that one. But it's kind of a different animal, man. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to think either. And I think this has to. Is this going to be the largest spread in a must team at Arkansas? It's got to be up there.
Ooh, I can look. Team Rankings does a really good job of keeping up with that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping that there would be. I don't know the way, but yeah, I'd be hard pressed to see if there was a time where a coached Razorback basketball team was underdog by more than 13.5 points.
Yeah, I'll be anxious to see what pops up there too, because it's definitely the largest spread this year. And I can't imagine previous years being worse. So,
no. Even the years when they were struggling that first year and going on the road against some high-quality teams, I don't think so. So that's, hey, another record get broken this year.
It's been one of those years, man.
Just continuing on to make history for the Razorback basketball team and all the wrong reasons.
Even when they played number 1 Auburn that year, I guess that was at home, but that wasn't even much of a spread at all.
Yeah.
The biggest spread that Arkansas's, or the biggest dog that Arkansas has been this year is 11.5 at Texas A&M.
Okay. Really? So what, Mississippi State, I thought
I guess it was 10.5.
It was yeah, the team rankings has it at 11. It was probably like 10.5.
Okay.
At
Interesting.
Saracen or in-state.
Man, that is a ton of points.
I don't know if I can go year by year.
Right. Well, I mean, but still, like, just thinking off the top of our head, there's no way that there's a team. Because even in Kansas last year in the tournament was no way that they were a 13.5-point favorite.
No.
Think about, because I'm just trying to think of a time where Arkansas was in a struggle and they were playing a high-quality team that nobody gave them a chance against. And I just can't come up with one. Like, even in the first year of Muss, I don't think there was a single game, even in the SEC, which there were some good teams in the SEC, but I don't think there was a single time on the road or anything that they were 10-point underdogs, much less 13.5. So that is not that's not ideal for Muss. And
it looks like Team Rankings says that Arkansas has been an underdog in 11 of its 15 SEC games, and so this weekend will be 16 and 12 times an underdog.
Gosh, man.
Are they an underdog against LSU at home? Like, I know it's not out there yet, but I'm just like, do you think they end up being an underdog at home?
Gosh, I mean, I could legitimately see that one maybe being a pick 'em.
As of right now at KenPom, and again, that's usually within a point or two, they are a 1-point favorite over LSU at home.
Well, if they get the doors blown off them by Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll be a home dog.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Home dog to LSU.
That's
what has happened in society? That is just
John,
that's
so
just
I'm
terrible.
gonna keep it real.
Keep it real, man.
The me and Curtis was sending me topics for last night for the pod at the Palace this morning, and we do a Feel Good Friday segment, and today's turned into a In Our Feels Friday.
Yep.
Because we always make it like, so Arkansas is playing Kentucky tomorrow. We make it Kentucky, Arkansas specific with the Feel Good Friday. It could be any sport, but the thing that jumped out was JD Notae's 30.8 assist game like a couple seasons ago, and then I'm just watching that highlight video from War Machine last night, and I just got really in my feelings. Like, I miss JD Notae manipulating ball screens. I miss Jalen Williams giving Oscar Tshiebwe buckets, Stanley Amude's pro fadeaways, Trey Wade doing his job, Audice Tony cutting off the ball. Who else am I missing? Kamani Johnson mixing it up with any and everybody that breathes.
Yeah. Chris Likes making free throws.
Uniform. Chris Likes making free throws. Like
Except against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we just we basically it just turned into like we were in our feelings about that team from a couple years ago. We just miss them a lot.
That was such a fun team to cover. And honestly, like earlier in the afternoon, we went back to year 1 Muss with that team that was just so undermanned, and we were watching those War Machine highlights of Mason Jones just giving guys buckets and Jimmy Witt knocking down mid-range jumpers. And what we were doing, I don't know why we did this to ourselves, probably because we like pain, but we would watch the highlights of one of those games, and then we go to, obviously it's War Machine, so it's a win from this season. And the difference in just like the intensity, and you could just like feel the energy that first year versus watching now, even in winning efforts. And it's like, dude, what has happened here?
Yeah.
It's depressing, man.
I was even looking at it because I watched a little bit of the highlights too that you guys were checking out, and just on the effort plays and the basics. Like, it's not about, just going up against these great teams where you're undermanned or outmatched and you're just playing outside your mind. I'm talking about simple pick and roll, or defending the three, or rebounding. Like, just the simple stuff that shouldn't be an issue, but it is an issue, and it has been an issue. And there's nothing that is more frustrating than to watch a team. Okay, I'm going to put it this way, which I wish Ellis was here just for, I love you guys, but this is the only time I want Ellis to be here for just a second. So he's covering baseball. But, it reminds me of almost like Star Wars, because I'm a Star Wars guy. Like, the prequel movies weren't good, but they tried, and I liked them all right, but they weren't good, and I accept that. It kind of reminds me of the first year for Arkansas basketball. They weren't good, but I accept them for what they were. But then when the Disney Star Wars came out, I hate those movies. Like, they ruined so much of it, and that's what this year's team is.
Yeah.
It's like neither of them are good, but this one makes me mad and, like, kind of ruins a lot for me.
Right.
And I think that's how a lot of fans have felt like with this team, is that it's ruined not only a lot of the good grace that Muss has built up, not only of the excitement and the passion but the frustrations and the inconsistency and the horrible home record. It's just, it has taken so much, like, there's nothing fun about this team. And that's where, even in the times they were losing, back in the Mason Jones years, like, you knew Mason was going to go for 40 any given night. You had Isaiah Joe hitting threes like crazy. Yeah. And then it ends up being something to where, like, if Adriel Bailey can hold his own, against a guy because Adriel Bailey's 6'6", 6'7", and he's going up against LSU postmen that are 6'11", and they get out rebounded by 28 rebounds. And guess what? Arkansas loses by 2 on the road to a good LSU team. I accept that. Mm-hmm. What I don't accept is losing at home to Vanderbilt. That they can't, like, they haven't been able to stop a nosebleed all year long, and defensively and offensively. I think I could have taken more half-court shots and scored more points than they did in some of the games. And so that's what has just ruined so much joy of basketball for me.
Year one, they maximized the potential of that group.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
they
this
did.
year, they've done the exact opposite of that. They've minimized the potential of this group. I mean, it's about as bad as this team can be. But, man, I mean, what stands out the most to me, and it's crazy to kind of say this because of what Caleb Battle's doing right now, which is very similar to what Mason Jones was doing, but he was just such an alpha, man.
Yeah.
Just such an alpha.
Just a
and
dude.
You look around at this team now, and what Mason did, it was just different.
Yep.
And JD was the same way, but he wasn't like Mason either. I mean, that dude, I think I forgot how special he was until we were watching those clips today.
Mason?
Like you just give him the ball and
like
he'll make a play, man.
Well,
and it's just incredible.
Run Boston Keep for him at the top of the key, and it's an automatic 2, maybe and 1.
And what I loved about Mason, and I'm not saying this because he had to hear it every single time they had a game about Mason, but it's like he couldn't jump.
Right.
Like, he wasn't some freak athlete. He wasn't some freakishly long athletic dude. He wasn't just a guy that had insane speed or he's just taller than everybody else. Everyone knew that he was going to shoot the ball a ton, and they still couldn't stop him. And that's why, like, Mason, it's unfortunate for him that he didn't get to go to an NCAA tournament. Because, man, could you imagine what he could have been like getting buckets in the
Curtis
tourney?
said it earlier today. That first-year Eric team would have beaten somebody in the NCAA tournament.
Yes, they would have.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. If they made it.
If they made it, they would have beaten
somebody.
somebody. Like, that would have been that, that would have been that Dayton, that first 4 team. It's like an 11 seed or a 12 seed, and they win that game, and then they go pop a number 5 seed or something. Yeah. Like, they would have done that.
Yeah. You just
Mason Jones would have been like the Teddy Allen of the NCAA tournament.
I mean, he really, if he would have been in the tournament that year, he might have been a Kimba candidate.
I totally agree.
Yeah, dude.
Carried a team well beyond where it actually should have gone in the tournament.
And also throwing in that it wasn't like he was just a dude that was, I got to, I feed off the energy of Bud Walton. It's like, no, this dude went on the road. And, the Georgia Tech game that we all know about, like, which was so insane. You think about that game. You think about, I think I'm trying to remember the other huge road game that he had where he went for like 36 points. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I remember there was but I remember there was an SEC game. But the point is like, that dude loved the spotlight. He loved the big lights being on him. And the NCAA tournament, it doesn't get any bigger than that. So I would have, it's just so unfortunate we didn't get to see that. But
shout out to Mace, though. He's on the Kings roster now.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I didn't know he's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that for him.
Heck yeah, man.
And
he's getting compliments from Mike Brown. Like, this dude has done something to his hair to make it blonde, and he is energy as energy gets. Like, he's a bench hype guy right now. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he'll get a chance to shine, because that Kings team is good.
Yeah.
And so it's not like he's going to be one of those guys that gets a bunch of run late in the year or the back half of the season, because that's a playoff team. That's a dangerous team. But I'm glad that he's getting the respect that he deserves. He's there's another guy on that team that's near and dear to my heart, or was. Mason Jones was the certified bucket getter on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
hands down.
It's just absurd to look at some of his games from that season.
Yeah,
like 32 on Rice in the opener, just to kind of set the tone. But I mean, it's just it's absurd, dude.
I put that Tulsa game on the TV earlier too, and he had 41 and dropped a guy at the elbow.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
that?
yep,
Dude.
The Tennessee game at home.
Yep.
The LSU game at home.
yeah. 30 on A&M, 36 on LSU, 37 in Tennessee,
he was an
38 Mississippi State.
That's stupid.
40 on Auburn,
So stupid.
He was an extraterrestrial dude.
Dude.
30 at Bama. I mean, come on, man.
And then you throw into, I remember, I'm sure you guys were the same way. I remember everyone thought that him and Muss hated each other.
Yeah,
Because, like, we hadn't seen a coach like Muss at Arkansas before. And Mason, of course, very vocal, very like animated and all that. And it always looked like they were just going at each other. And that's what cracked me up. Is like looking back on that, I felt that was like, golly, man, they don't fit. Muss didn't recruit him. He just inherited him. And then, just a little bit later, it's kind of like, no, they actually did like each other. But that's just like, that's what I really liked about Muss, at least. He got it. He's like, if a player talks back to me or has this, it's like, am I going to get the best out of him by being that way? Then yes. Then come at me, and I'm going to come at you, and then I know it's going to get you the best out of you. And so that's what I always laughed looking back on it with Mace is like he would go at it, and
Yes.
he just was such a weird thing to see a guy go out of coach. But Muss like, no, keep doing what you're doing. We love each other. We respect each other. It's great. We're friends, and I think they're still in contact and do
sure.
stuff
oh
today.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I loved how a Friday show just turned into a Mason Jones appreciation. I'm for
What
it.
else we gonna
Everyone
do
needed
with
this.
basketball,
Yeah, it's-
man.
Yeah, I am for it, by the way.
We can talk portal board, guys, or we can just move on.
By the way, Razorback Baseball is still going on. Arkansas still holds a 3-1 lead as Hagen Smith's day is done. I'd say that he did a pretty good job overall because, again, as we mentioned, he gave up a home run to start the game, but then struck out 12 batters is what he finished with, 12 batters.
Cody
And
Frank's
only
got that mustache.
Dude, Cody Frank's
Rocking, man.
looking good. And how about Cody Frank's already got 3 strikeouts too?
That's that Sherlock Holmes look.
I will say that Dave Van Horn used to be a guy that was never no mustaches, no long hair,
Like the
no
Yankees?
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean cut. And now it's kind of like as long as you play well.
I remember you were talking to Spoon a couple of weeks ago, maybe, and you were like, "Has Dave, is he more lax now than he has been?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, he's really, he's kind of lightened up a little bit. He's letting the guys wear cleats that aren't black."
As if like that was just some like huge no, and it's not that he can do bat flips or they do dugout celebrations. Like, dude, he's letting them wear black cleats now. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
he's out of control. Dave
the
needs to
white
settle
cleats
down.
with the white uniforms are pretty bad. It's pretty clean.
Yeah.
I think he gets that. Like if guys
He does.
feel like they look good, they're gonna walk out there with an extra swagger, maybe.
Yeah, I would too. Cody Frank get another strikeout, so now he's got 4 strikeouts.
It's nice
And
work.
that's I think maybe the misconception with Dave is he is old school, but he wants his guys to have a swagger, but just to place and time for it.
Yeah.
And Hagen Smith was talking his talk after he was
Oh,
he
that
struck
he
out
was.
everybody
I
in
would
Globe
too.
Life last weekend, and he loves that. He likes his guys having an edge. There's no doubt about it. An edgeless baseball team is probably one that you want to play. A team with some edge, you probably don't. And I think Dave's guys definitely have an edge, and it starts at the top. Like that
Yeah.
dude's got an edge about him.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
Absolutely.
who's the basketball version of Hagen Smith? Like if you could just take not just for this year, but just in general, like because I always think that the mentality is an interesting factor. Where at the end of the day, these still are all athletes. An athlete's an athlete, and you got guys who have big time swagger in all sports, and you got guys that are low key. But Hagen, I don't know who would be one that come up. Like for instance, I remember Blaine Knight. Blaine Knight kind of reminded me of a. I don't want to say Mason Jones, but a little bit scaled back where he just like I don't care who you are, I don't care what you're doing, I'm going to go do it. Like or maybe a Daryl Macon may have been a better comparison for Blaine Knight.
Ooh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, like that's the type of thing. But
I've got Dalton Connect in my mind for some reason.
That's
Like
a good
dude
one.
Just gonna
He's just better than everyone.
he's better than
And,
everybody.
yeah.
well, I don't know. He's not.
Is a pro on the college level.
Bruce Pearl though
Oh, God.
feels like there is another Dalton Connect that y'all guys aren't even mentioning. All right,
Yeah. Yeah. The 5'10" guard from Mississippi State.
dude, he's like Dalton Connect 2.0.
What a statement to make. And listen,
coaches need to
Hubbard,
shut up,
Hubbard
dude.
is good. I mean, he's on the Natty State portal big board. But come on, man, there's levels to this.
Yeah.
and Dalton connects at a different one.
If I had a SEC Coach of the Year vote, Bruce Pearl would have lost it
Yeah.
with that statement.
100%.
I mean, even in your interview yesterday with Dusty Hannas, like he just unpromptly was giving Dalton Connect his flowers. I mean, that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, and
So-
Dusty, who, I mean, I don't love Dusty and appreciate him coming on yesterday, but Dusty, he's not just somebody who compliments anybody.
That's right.
You know, he's not just somebody who's like, oh, well, I'm just going to hype this dude up. He's like, no, I'm not going to give you squat unless I feel like you're worthy of it. So when he's talking about Dalton Connect, I'm like, all right, he's noticing it's next level.
Yeah,
It's
that's
legit.
a bad dude.
Yeah, it's a legit thing. But, I love watching him play, and they got a big game against Bama tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tennessee does. So there's some good college basketball. Arkansas's not one of them, but you got some. Well, I think there's another. Florida South Carolina as a top 25 matchup, like we all anticipated.
Yeah. Yep.
Ew,
As expected.
so dumb. And then we got that going on, and Arkansas and Kentucky will be played CBS 12:30, right, for that game.
12:30. Good time for a game like that. Just
Sweet.
go ahead and get that one wrapped up and enjoy your Saturday evenings, people.
Yeah, just don't let the basketball game ruin your Saturday, man. Just don't let them do it.
Hopefully everyone's given up on it impacting their emotions and their day. Hopefully everyone's given up on that.
I mean, I remember walking in here. Last Saturday we were gone, but the weekend before for that Mississippi State game, they were huge dogs. They just been getting their doors kind of blown off by everybody. They're banged up, they're injured, and we kind of walked in here like, what's this going to be like? And it was one of the more enjoyable live streams that we've done.
It was.
So
It was
maybe
fun.
Even if this team stinks, like if they're battling with Kentucky and Rupp, like it won't take long for I think us and the people who are watching to kind of get just live in the moment. Don't think about the big picture.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
There's really not a big just with this team specifically. There's not a big picture.
No,
like,
there's not. Yeah, it doesn't
beyond
exist.
like a couple weeks from now. I don't know. Just it's one game at a time, right? Which
That's
is the
right.
cliche that I hate, and I talked about it on the pod at the Palace. I was like, I wish they would, go try to play two at a time and just
See what happens.
see how that goes.
Yeah.
Unprecedented 2 games at a time. Yeah, try to play at Kentucky and at home against LSU at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm done with the cliches of football and basketball,
Dude.
dude. Like, I know our baseball is going to be fine, but it's like, thank you, Dave Van Horn, for not just throwing cliches even when y'all lose.
Right.
And like, it's like, yeah, I'm over them. I'm so over them.
It's kind of crazy for the SEC tournament in Nashville. My wife's going to be out of town for work during the same time, so we were talking about it last night at dinner about like, oh, I guess we need to get the dog set up, for dog sitting or whatever. Like come feed him, let him out, and everything like that. And we've got an app for it, and you got to put all the information in. And so she was like, well, should we just do like the tournament's Wednesday through Sunday? Should we do that? And I'm like, no, probably not. And so we were trying to like go through our minds of like, realistically how long ahead we should set up the dog to be taken care of, because like once it's done, it's done. Like if you cancel, there's a fee for that because they could otherwise be taking other jobs. You know how it works. So we were like, okay, like they're probably gonna play on Wednesday. So do we set them up for Thursday? It's like, yeah, better safe than sorry. But we really got stuck on Friday.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at with this team. Like, and so we ultimately did get him set up for Friday, just so you guys know. But if they go beyond that, like I'm gonna be having to phone a friend, to come feed my dog on Saturday, because I don't see it happening, man. That's where we're at.
If they make it to Saturday, I'm gonna be mad. I'm not even gonna be happy.
Oh yeah,
I'm
don't
gonna
do
be,
that to
I'm gonna
us.
be pissed.
Yeah,
I
do
mean,
not do that to us.
Well, yeah, because this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna get to the frickin' championship game, and it's gonna be like it was in 2008 or whatever. They catch some other trash team like a Georgia who just got hot at the right time. I'm like, oh, man, dude, they're going to get in the tournament and they lose. Like they lose like Georgia or some random team out there like an A&M. Like, it's just like, dude, that's that will be the ultimate. They've kicked us in the balls enough this year. Like that one will be the eventual castration. It's just like you gave them a little bit of hope and you're like, just kidding. Like. You don't even need to worry about it. We just wanted to mess with you a little bit more.
Yeah, don't even tease us.
Yeah.
I don't think my soul can't handle that.
I'm just trying to prepare. It's like it's my Tylenol. It's like I'm just preparing it's my liquid IV. Like I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help myself out in this whole thing. But let's just hope it doesn't happen. It's gonna be fine, and we'll be all right. So Either way. Okay. We got more to talk about, though, here on the show, folks, and we will get to those things. But, of course, want to tell you all about the fine folks at Superior Contracting and Development, because we know that at Superior Contracting and Development, you're always going to have the greatest when it comes to interior and exterior construction on your home. Rates are crazy in trying to buy a new home, right? You don't need to buy a new home. Your home's fine. Just get some changes, get a little facelift on it, and that's what Superior Contracting and Development can do for you. They're based out of Bologna, but they can go statewide when it comes to all of your needs, and you can call them today at 501-453-3053 to talk to a real person, get a consultation, and see exactly the type of things that you can do, whether it's for drainage, whether it's for building a pool, maybe you need a new deck. It doesn't matter. Interior, exterior, they do it all. So call them today at 501-453-3053. You can also email them at contracting@superiorarc.com to get a real person that way too and get in direct contact. And you can also visit their website at Superior Arc. That's superiorarc.com. No matter what it is, no matter how you're going to do it with Superior Contracting and Development right there in Bologna. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with more of the John Nabors Show and an Arkansas update. So stay with us here live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
We not done yet either. So don't be satisfied. We not done.
I mean, honestly, I don't really remember post-game. I guess I black out after games, winning and losing.
You missed it. You missed it. You missed the game. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go to it. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? What took you there? It's just so weird. It's
visiting friends, but yeah, Dixon Street.
Dixon Street?
Yeah, Dixon Street. It was, it'll get you.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you've got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile! Smile!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Let's stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas!
The John Nabors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
Welcome back into the John Nabors Show here live from the Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching in as we're getting ready for a few things happening this weekend, which I know we talked a little basketball and also got some baseball going on too. And in fact, looks like right now Arkansas is, I wouldn't say that they're in trouble, but they definitely are getting in a little bit of a bind. They have runners at first and second with one out. Cody Frank's day is done, which was kind of crazy because it was looking pretty good for him. But then guy ends up getting a bunt. Great play there by Hudson White to throw him out at third. So there's one out, split runs at first and second. And who are they bringing in?
Looks like Gabe Gackle.
Gabe Gackle.
Oh, boy.
Friend of the program, Gabe Gackle.
Friend of the program. That's the thing is we just need to get every player on the show at some point, and then everybody's a friend of the show.
That's right.
We'll just do that.
We're working on it with football based on what's going on to
I know.
right today. So.
Make the T-shirts and we'll send it to that kid that said during the live stream last weekend that we say that a lot.
Yeah, well, it's going to be our new role thing. Is I just
send
stay
us your
friend of the
shirt
show,
size, brother, and we'll send you one.
We'll hook you up with it. But yeah, it's still 3-1 though. Arkansas still in the lead. At the top of the 8th inning with Gabe Gackle coming in. So see if he can get out of this bind, and we will keep you updated on it. In fact, that's a perfect way to segue it into, of course, our Arkansas update presented by Auto Owners Insurance as well as the Davis and Garrett Group. Appreciate them always being a part of it, and they are your independent auto owners insurance agency securing what matters most. But Razorback Baseball, again, 3-1, that's where that game is at. But also a couple things happening. The Ladybacks get absolutely drilled against South Carolina, the number 1 team in the country. It's not really surprising there. But they got beat 98-61. Yeah, that was a real score. It was tough. But so that happened in Bud Walton Arena as Arkansas now drops to 18-12, 6-9 in the SEC. And South Carolina's undefeated, 28-0, 15-0 in the SEC. And even though Arkansas just trailed 26-22 after the first quarter, the Gamecocks outscored them 72-39. So pretty rough go there. Also, I guess the NFL Combine's going on. I don't really know, but it is. And Arkansas does have a few people in it, like Dwight McLaughlin and Trajan Jeffcoat. Is that the only ones that are in the Combine right now? Are those 2 guys for the Razorbacks? At least that's the only ones I've seen information on.
I think it's several days long, so it's
right,
position groups. And Trajan Jeffcoat, from what I saw yesterday, first 40 was a 4.70, second 40 was a 4.69, and then the first thing I saw about Nudie today was he ran a 4.47.
Yeah,
I think
cooking. That's really good.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to bring it up as far as like, hey, where was that at? But no, Dwight McLaughlin's a good player. I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
I mean, Jeffcoat, he really, really, really looked the part. So much so that Pittman pulled him up on the podium that day and said it. But like, I don't know. I mean, he had a fine season, but it's kind of Landon Jackson stole his thunder, I guess. Could have been better.
I was excited about Jeffcoat too.
Me too, man.
There's something about the players that they get. It's like D linemen from Missouri that transfer in. It's like just ended up being a reoccurring thing for Arkansas.
Right.
But again, like you said, it wasn't a bad year. It just wasn't the year that people were expecting.
You feel like he was going to, rack up double-digit sacks. And, I mean, he looked primed for a huge year, and it just didn't really happen.
No,
but
it did not.
I mean, I think that tells you right there what Pittman was seeing in practice, and for whatever reason, it just, didn't really translate that much. I mean,
I don't want to say anything too loud right now, but maybe it was more of a reflection of, the guys he was going against.
What are you trying to say, Curtis? What are you trying to say?
I'm just,
I'll open the door if you want them to.
No, it's okay.
I hope
we don't have to do that.
I hope they're not on YouTube in there.
But say if suddenly you hear these big gorilla stomps coming out here, it's because the offensive lineman's about to beat us up.
If my body just disappears from the camera, you know where I'm at.
Listen, I caught Kudus napping on the couch, legitimately napping on the couch. And I got up and I asked the guys if they wanted anything, and then Kudus said, "No, man, I'm good." And I said, "Are you sure? You sure I can go find a pillow and a blanket too if you want?" Kudus is a good kid, and he's another guy that Pittman really likes a lot. Like, he's tough, and he's going to have to be really, really hurt to not be out there. I'm excited to see what his next step looks like this year.
I just don't know how I like it without his long hair.
Yeah,
I got so used to that.
I'm adjusting to it, I think. So
I mean, it'll be fine as long as he plays well. I don't think anybody else cares about anything else. But still, the long hair just seemed like that was kind of his thing. But he can always grow back. It'll always grow back.
Sure.
He can make that happen. Also, for all you Razorback fans out there, in case you didn't know this, and if you didn't know this, this is a you problem. But I just wanted to let you know that football season ticket renewal deadline is March 1st, which is today. So if you haven't renewed your season football tickets, better call up because they may be giving them away to somebody else if you're not careful. And we mentioned it already, but we're going to mention it again because Razorback spring practice schedule has been officially announced, or at least for the first part of it, for next week starting. Sam Pittman's going to meet with the media at 1 p.m. inside the press conference room at the Burrell Center. And that's going to be, again, Tuesday. And then Thursday is when spring practice actually opens up. And that is an 8:25 a.m. practice viewing and a 10:40 a.m. student athlete, which I'm curious to see which student athletes will get for that.
Armstrong, Landon Jackson,
Braun.
Good call.
There you go.
All right, done. Do we get the coordinators though sometimes too, right? And in the spring,
I think
Bryles
we'll probably get them once.
Okay, I mean that's fine.
And
I'll take those.
I think all the assistants come in once during fall camp.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
That's what I'm thinking of. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, they're going to be. Hopefully getting a chance to talk to, because that Petrino, whenever he's there, it's going to be, no offense to Travis Williams, but
right.
I mean,
it's going to be a little bit more full.
When Petrino was in that press conference room when he got announced officially, that was surreal.
Mm-hmm. That was like a rock star walking into the arena, like that Stone Cold's music, like we got to see this and what's about to happen.
It really was kind of crazy though, John, and I mean, I know you were in there too. Like Bobby was trying to lighten the room up, lighten the mood a little bit. by cracking some jokes and being a little bit self-deprecating. But like, I don't think anybody in the room knew whether to laugh or not, and so it just kind of made for an interesting feel. So I'm hopefully it'll be a little bit more laid back this time.
Because he was, I think at least how I took it is that everybody remembers, or at least people that were covering the beat during this time of Petrino, everyone remembers like, yeah, this guy, don't say the wrong thing. Don't ask the wrong thing. Don't talk about the wrong thing. And we don't want to, revisit that. Or it was the other people who have never been covering Petrino and they know about the rumors and they're like, I don't want him be mad at me. I want to make a good first impression.
Sure.
So, because I think he even said, like, what's up to Bob and, like, shook Mike Irwin's hand and everything. So it was just like, you okay, Bobby? Like, is everything all right? Because you're being weird.
He's a new man.
Yeah.
Nothing like a second first impression.
That's right.
Yeah. Again, it's still funny. He got 2 at Louisville, and now he's got 2 at Arkansas. Let's hope that hey, if it goes anywhere like the second stint at Louisville went, where you had a Heisman Trophy winner and everything.
Boy.
Dude, Gackle. Did you get both of them?
Struck them both out. Yep.
Friend of the show.
Dude.
Friend of the network. Gackle, that dude. So now we are on to the bottom of the 8th. And Arkansas's 3 outs away.
That was filthy.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Dropped the hammer on him.
Ooh.
Uncle Charlie made an appearance.
Gackle just stepped off the mound, and he's like shaking his head.
Yeah. He's like, you ain't gonna hit that. You ain't gonna hit that.
You
one.
can't even make a decision.
Yeah.
You just leave that bat on your shoulder, brother.
Yeah. You can update, and it's a great update every single time. Brought to you by Davis & Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owner's insurance agency, securing what matters most. Also, I thought it was pretty funny from the comment. David said, "Isn't Braun?" I assume you mean Josh Braun, a friend of the show. He is. He is a friend of the podcast network that we have going on, the Boss Hog podcast, which will be officially being released early next week. So we'll give you more details on that. But if you want to hear from the horse's mouth of their offensive linemen and get to know them a little bit more, it's going to be great to hear from them too.
Learn a lot about those fellas.
Yes,
I do imagine.
Yes, they have, and all of them have a crazy, wild story and different backgrounds and all of that. So
sure.
It's going to be pretty great.
One of the first ones that they did, not to spoil anything, but he had Addison Nichols and Fernando Carmona in here. Those guys, like Addison Nichols, I may have said this before, he is low-key hilarious. And then Carmona's got he's got so much charisma, dude.
Yeah.
And he's got a contagious laugh, and his smile is great. It sounds like I'm gushing over him, but like I just hope I hope he's as good of an offensive lineman as he is like a personality.
Yeah.
As he's I'm excited about Carmona. I hope he makes regular trips into the interview room. That would be great for everybody.
Yeah. Well, just to let everybody know too, that's actually going to be the first episode. It will be that one. So
we'll
tease there. But yeah, it's a great one. And what's funny, for those of you who may not know, like they're pre-recording all of these podcasts because they're going to be in spring practice and they're going to be released throughout the week. So they're really knocking a lot of them out. Well, Josh Braun's kind of the one that's heading it up, and he was texting me. He's like, "Hey, we're going to record a podcast today at 12:30, and then another one at 2, and then another one at 3:30." And I'm like, "All right." I was like, "Listen, man, I do this for a living, and I'm exhausted after like a show and like a 2-hour show, 3-hour show, anything. It's like it's a lot going on. This dude over here is doing 3 in one day, and it's not even his deal. So kudos to him. Hopefully, he's going to be awake the rest of the day because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of talking, but." It's going to be great, though. He's going to have Taylon Green in next week, too, the quarterback transfer from Boise.
Cool.
So that'll be cool.
Excited to hear from him.
Can't wait to hear his whole story and all that. But, yeah, it's going to be great. And rumor has it, there's going to be a baseball player. It's going to be doing a podcast with us, too, during the season. Might be batting right now. We'll see.
There we go.
But
Love that.
Want to be teasing that just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not give him a little bit, and then we move on from it. So. But, yeah, I can't wait because we still got roughly about an hour left of the show, and we got some things that we want to talk about, especially Wendell Green.
Our favorite.
Remember him, right? The guy that had said thing on his face that from Devo Davis.
Teabag.
Yes, teabagging. Against Auburn when Arkansas beat him and they rushed the court. Guy just felt like I don't know what he was trying to do, but he's still trying to do something. I don't know what it is, but he's still trying to do something. But we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But folks, got to tell you about our friends over at Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping destination. If you're going to be going to the Razorback baseball games, which is going to be a beautiful weekend, you want to be able to get you some of the new polos, maybe a baseball jersey like the one I'm wearing now. Maybe you need one of those baseball hats. They have them all, and they have them in stock, but not for very much longer because they are hot commodities, and you better take care of it, better get it. And if you want to, just go over to their website at nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. That's nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. You go over there. You check out all the same apparel that they have in store, and you can have it shipped right to your door. It's as simple as that. And they got it all. They got the high-end things. They got Columbia. They got Nike. They got Peter Millar. They got things for the men, things for the women, things for the kids, things for the pets. They have it all. It's the greatest store that there is when it comes to all things Razorback apparel. So check them out today at nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. We'll take a break and come back with more of the John Nabors Show and a little bit of a Razorback baseball update. I am sure it'll go really well going forward. But either way, we'll do that a lot more coming up next. So stay with us.
We not done yet either. So don't be satisfied. We not done.
I mean, honestly, I don't really remember post game. I guess I black out after games, winning and losing.
You missed it. You missed it. You missed the game. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go to it. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? What took you there? It's just so weird. It's
visiting friends, but yeah, Dixon Street.
Dixon Street?
Yeah, Dixon Street. It was, it'll get you.
Best guys. I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you've got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile! Smile!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Let's stick my dick in the mashed potato. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Nabors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Nabors Show here live from the Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate everybody listening in this afternoon as we have just an hour left of the week, and then we'll get into the weekend. And Razorback Baseball is still going on right now. Almost had a little bit of a, whoa, that's a zoom in if I've ever seen one, but almost had a little bit of a situation. Kendall Diggs was sliding into second and air throw and got hit in the back of the back of the head with the ball, and he's safe and everything, but just I don't want to see that happen again.
Looks like he got hit in the back of the head with the ball and took a couple cleats to the face. Maybe it's just a weird deal. He's all right though.
Thank goodness. Well, it was good to see him get up and looked a little shaky, but looks like Arkansas also did they score another? Yeah, they scored another.
Yeah, they scored. Diggs scored.
Yep,
could be wrong.
From third. So now Arkansas has increased their lead to 4-1 here in the bottom of the eighth inning. So hopefully ends up staying that way because I really don't want to deal with anything crazy. And
you're going to ground into a double play. The way to do it is by driving in a run.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Nice work there.
And that's what happened. All right, so let's talk about this Wendell Green thing. This guy. So those of you who don't remember, Wendell Green was the guy that, again, he played for Auburn. And when Arkansas played Auburn, and Auburn was #1 in the country, coming into Bud Walton, y'all remember how epic of a game it was, and how the court got rushed, all that fun stuff. Well, Wendell Green decided after Devo had the ball and was going down to the court and doing a bounce dunk to himself, and I guess alley-ooping it to himself, it wasn't going to count. I mean, the time was already out, but for some reason, Wendell Green really wanted to go over there. I should have brought up the picture, but either way. It didn't happen, and then Devo kind of did a dunk and swung back, and when he swung back, many things swung into the face of Wendell Green. So he is still upset by it, apparently, and it's for whatever reason, he wanted to continue to talk trash about Arkansas. Like this guy hates Arkansas still to this day because of that, which I get. I would too if that happened to me.
That's one way to wind up on a T-shirt.
So, but for those of you who are wondering what the whole deal is, the Field of 68 says, now that it's March, anyone know who's calling? And to which they put up a picture of a phone call that says massively overrated. To which Wendell Green quote tweets it, says, Arkansas preseason ranking, crying, laughing emoji.
Yeah, and I mean, in fairness to him, it's true.
It is very true.
He's not wrong.
Arkansas has to wear that one, but I mean, he also could have, tweeted any Auburn team that I was on, because that would have been the same situation, And this is a dude who, like back during the draft process, he was going back and forth with Anthony Black a little bit, and then when Auburn came and blew Arkansas out in Bud, and hey, they did do that. He was all over it then too on Twitter, but I don't know, like, congratulations that your teammates did what you never did.
Yeah,
like, cool, man. I don't know. That stuff gets on my nerves a little bit, and Arkansas put him out of the SEC tournament last year.
Pretty nice.
And stormed the court on him and put the old bag in the face there. So whatever,
like bag of tea in the face.
Yeah, he can tweet all he wants, but it all happened.
Ball-chinian energy is what Kingsley says.
Exactly.
I was trying to talk to Curtis earlier. I was like, how you holding up this afternoon, buddy? And he just looks at me and says, ball-chinian. And I was just like, I just put my head back down and kept like
wondered what was going
on.
on.
And I was just like, okay, maybe he's just like in his own space. And then I saw the exchange he was having with Kingsley on Twitter. It was fantastic.
I just can't believe that this guy is still, like, no one asked, like, it had nothing to do with Arkansas in that tweet, like, as far as the Field of 68 tweet.
Right.
It's just literally a guy who's never going to forget the fact that happened to him, and he's never going to let it go. And apparently that means so much to him to where he still wants to tweet about it.
Yeah.
And that's what's funny. It's like, dude, you were on a good team, and you lost on the road to Arkansas. Right. And a fair game, went to overtime. It was a great college basketball game. But yet you're continuing to bring it up, and guess what happens when you bring it up? You're going to get flooded with people who are going to start tweeting you the picture of you getting teabagged.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so what is the point of this? Like, what are you trying to do? Well, what is the point of this?
The irony of a guy responding to a tweet about someone being overrated by referring to a team that exposed him and his team for being overrated that season, like, it's kind of baffling to me. I mean, everyone knew that they were paper tigers that year, like with that #1 ranking. And after Arkansas beat them, they lost a few games and they got bumped in the second round of the NCAA tournament after having, probably their best regular season they ever had. So, again,
hang that second round banner.
Yeah, put that energy somewhere else where it can be more utilized and probably better served.
Yeah,
I would say, because I didn't even know that this happened, because Curtis and Scotty, when we were about to start the show, because I came back from the baseball game, they said, we got to talk about the Wendell Green thing. And I immediately was like, I didn't know exactly what he said, but I knew, I was like, he had to have tweeted something about Arkansas in that and being bitter about it, because he has been bitter about this. I believe it was, he did a podcast. I believe it was actually on the Locked On Auburn podcast with Zach Blackerby. I think it was Wendell Green. It was one of the Auburn players a year ago. And was it Wendell Green?
It was Zep Jasper.
That's who it was.
Who didn't even play in that particular game. But
he's just like, I hate Arkansas. I want to beat Arkansas. I want to play them. I want to beat them. It's like, why? Like, what's your deal? It's just so strange to me, where they're very angry and they're very bitter, and apparently Wendell Green still to this day. Of course, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel if I literally became a meme for the rest of my life of another basketball player doing that.
But what you shouldn't do is give people reasons to bring it back up and throw it in your mentions again.
Right, man.
This just seems like he's got a little bit too much time on his hands, because maybe there's not a ball in his hands in a game that matters at all.
No.
Yeah, on a brief check here, it looks like he's playing in Serbia.
Oh, here it's nice this time of year over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay, so Serbia, and he's also checking Twitter and waiting to take shots at Arkansas.
Which he is not wrong about Arkansas.
No, he's not.
Massively
exactly.
overrated. Like nobody
let
is
us be
saying
clear.
that. He is absolutely on the money with that, and there's nobody even in Arkansas that would disagree.
No,
it's just.
I think it's about the intention, and it's like if I was to say this, or if you guys were to tweet it, it's like you're mean, but you're right. But it's like this is something from Wendell Green where it's like we know why you're doing this. You're still mad about that one thing that happened in a regular season game on the road. And you know what? Here, instead of harnessing this energy towards that, maybe you just shouldn't have done what you did and try to chase. Like, I still don't understand what he was going to attempt to do. Like,
who knows?
And I don't think we ever will. But
he ran really fast looking for trouble and got mad when he found it.
Yep. That's exactly
also,
what happened.
I just finished off a can of. It says Wendell Green's Tears. It was delicious.
Yep.
Well, I was about to say you may have to go for seconds because he's still got. He's probably going to come back for another refill here in about a few months.
It's been like 2.5 years.
I know.
Like the salt went from his forehead directly to his veins, and like it's never going to leave.
No.
It's crazy, man.
But again, maybe he just wants more interactions for Razorback fans.
He's going to get
he's
it.
Getting that.
Well, here's the thing. What if, and I'm not saying anything, but what if it's just that he really likes that picture and that meme, and this is his way of getting people to bring it back up because he just really wants it and really likes it.
Or you might be onto something.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there because, it was a very iconic picture, iconic meme, and it honestly made him a household name, at least in the state of Arkansas, for that reason alone. So maybe this is just his way of getting it back into the forefront, bringing it on the front burner. And trying to say, you know what, that was iconic, something I was a part of, and I like attention. So this is the only way I know how to get it, and I'm going to do it. And hit me with these memes, hit me with these pictures.
Let me stir up Hog Twitter so they can just throw it at me relentlessly.
Yeah. Give me all of the memes of Devo, and then the videos of Devo doing this to me. Give it to me like crazy.
Arkansas fans are probably very happy to direct their anger elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, and like honestly,
Arkansas's team.
Yeah, shout out to Wendell Green. Like, thank you for doing your part to kind of reunite the basketball segment of the fan base. It was just checked out on the season, and now you have ticked everyone off and brought them back together just in time for the Hogs to go to Kentucky. So well done, sir. Thank you.
Yep. And then if Arkansas wins against Kentucky tomorrow in Rupp, we'll have to give Wendell Green credit. We'll be like,
salute.
He started it. He's the one that started it, and then. I just have a feeling that this is not going to be the last time he tweets about Arkansas in his life.
No.
I think it's probably going to be a reoccurring theme. Imagine if Arkansas ever wins a national championship, though, in basketball.
Oh, man.
But, people may just go Razorback fans because they're kind of like the North. The North never forgets. Arkansas fans don't forget. And in their midst of their celebrations, they're just going to be like, yeah, we need to get Wendell Green involved here, too. Like, we're going to make sure he knows it. And then he's going to probably go private, and then it's going to move on. But
is he the least productive and notable player to ever become a not so friend of the fan base?
That's a good question, actually. I know that there's some random ones. I remember that Zach Novak guy from Michigan. After he almost destroyed B.J. Young, people. That's the only reason I still know his name to this day.
Yeah, I wanted to fight Novak that day.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Everybody wanted to. But then it's that was the only instance. If he didn't do that one thing, nobody would have cared. I think him or there was another player that was kind of like that did something really mean. And Razorback fans hated him forever for it. And that's usually what it is. It's not necessarily just going in and beating you, but it's you do something extra.
Yeah.
You have some extracurriculars to go along with it, and that's really what drives people up a wall. So, yeah.
Because it's also Kayvon Allen, Malik Monk, those guys, but that's different.
Yeah, that's where they're from.
Right, exactly, it's different.
Yeah.
I think David's in the chat. I think he's talking about the kid from Missouri. Is it Beisel?
Basil, or is
Eric
it Basil? Or no, I keep wanting to say Basilak. That's not his name, but yeah,
Eric
I think
Beisel.
Beisel. That walk-on linebacker that when Missouri was 0-7 was Arkansas's a rival. There ain't nothing. We're gonna beat them or whatever, and then they did.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Yeah, I can't even hate that guy for that because Missouri did win, and he kind of called his shot there. But I understand, hating that kid. But yeah, as far as player goes, just off the top of my head, I think he's probably the Wendell Green's probably the one.
Yeah.
And again, I don't even think anybody would remember Wendell Green if it wasn't just for that one play that wasn't even in the game. Like the game was over.
Oh yeah.
Like, the hornet sounded, and it was something after the game that ended up happening.
Yeah, and they wouldn't even remember it that much anyway if it wasn't for him continuously like stirring the pot over it.
Yeah.
It's just. I think you're onto something, John.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
just likes it.
Yeah.
He likes the picture. It's plain and simple. Maybe he's got it hanging in his bedroom or something.
Well, the kids say rent free.
Mm-hmm.
Very
he's
much
just
so.
like an engagement merchant on Twitter because he's just got nothing else to do right now.
He said he's got the fired up Razorback fans.
Could probably make a
fans.
pretty solid starting five of basketball players who Arkansas fans hate.
Ooh, like just for any reason, hate them?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Wendell Green is the point guard.
He'd be the point guard.
Malik Monk's your shooting guard.
Yeah. I don't think fans hated Kayvon Allen. I don't think they ever hated him.
I don't think they did either.
Yeah,
he just
not.
torched him.
Yeah, he just worked them. But yeah, I don't think there was any hatred there.
Reggie Perry, your five.
Yeah.
He's probably up there on the list.
Archie Goodwin might be because I remember he was about business decision.
He's the three.
Yeah, he was about the business decision.
We just need one more.
Yeah, we got to find a
power
four or maybe a combo forward, something like that.
Yeah, a small ball
Oh,
four.
dude. David's talking about Darius Days from LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, he was another guy who I think you just hated because he killed you every game. But that dude.
Head coach Will Wade.
Head coach Will Wade.
You think that he is the most hated of any coach that Arkansas has gone up against?
It's probably Oates now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he's up there. Will Wade's up there.
Yeah,
dude.
he's
no,
up
I'm not
there.
saying he's not. It's just I wondered if that's like the surefire number one.
Adam Miller from LSU was a good
Ooh,
one.
yeah.
After he was talking trash and he slapped Anthony Black in Baton Rouge
Dude,
last year,
yeah,
and
that
then
was
they
a
got
good
him
one.
back and were giving it to him in the press conference. That was pretty good.
Trendon Watford.
Marshall Henderson, everyone hated him though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that was
kind of
unique
like
to Arkansas. Yeah, but
yeah, it's like Johnny Manziel. It's like everyone hated him though.
yeah.
Man, those are some good names. Bringing back some. I keep feeling like there's one I'm missing though. Like I keep feeling like there's one that's just so obvious that everyone just got sick and tired of, and especially when he came in and they booed him like crazy all the time. I don't know, because there's like ones that I remember me personally. I had some like interactions with like Renardo Sidney, but I don't think anyone hates Renardo Sidney.
Right.
Or do you remember Rob Chubb for Auburn?
I remember Rob Chubb.
Yeah, he was fun though because he would interact with us in the student section, and we all printed out sheets when he got arrested of his mugshot, and he signed one of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, you can't hate that guy.
No,
that's pretty good.
I had no problem with old Rob Chubb.
I mean, KD Johnson should be the Auburn player that everyone hates.
Man,
you know?
dude.
Yeah.
But Wendell Green ruined that.
Man, I'm feeling like it's like okay, I remember people hating Joakim Noah, but it's like again, everybody hated that guy,
Right? Yeah.
And who he was. So that's a great question, man. So who did we decide off the top of our head as the five?
Okay, so we got Wendell Green at point.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Monk is your 2.
Mm-hmm.
Archie Goodwin's the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Perry's the 5.
Mhm.
And we just needed like a
We need a
power
power
forward or a
forward.
small ball 4. And then like the coaches. I mean, everybody hates Will Wade, right? So I don't know
Yeah.
if that's not
Yeah.
Arkansas specific.
Who was the guy that got ejected in the Alabama game that Arkansas beat Alabama in Bud Walton that year when COVID was going on? He got
Petty?
ejected. Yeah,
John
Petty.
Petty.
John Petty.
John Petty.
Yeah.
Remember, people really hated him.
Yeah.
Called him Petty White because he was so petty about everything. Yeah, he was, but I don't remember what position he was, but
He's a wing.
yeah.
So
He looked like a wee character.
Is
I
it
remember that.
Calipari? Or Calipari's like in that tier where everybody hates him, right?
Yeah, but also I could be wrong, but I just feel like most fans, Razorback fans at least, have not warmed up to him, but almost like, all right, like he's not an annoying. Like, he was in the beginning for sure, but now it's kind of like, hey, he's whatever. Maybe they've warmed up to him. Maybe they respect him more because they hate other coaches more now. You know, because they hate
That's
Nate
fair,
Oates,
yeah.
Bruce Pearl, not fans of him. Buzz Williams, not a fan of them. And
I mean, I would probably say Oates would be my.
I'd say
might be
Oates.
my answer.
Oates.
yeah.
Dennis Gates flirting with it a little bit.
He's he's starting to move up that list some.
He might be head
Interesting.
assistant coach on that team.
Yep, he might be.
Yeah,
Yeah, put him at the assistant coaching spot.
He might be an assistant coach. Period. This time next year. So.
Well, I mean, what they got? Was it 3 games right left of the season for
Yeah.
everybody? So
Yeah, man, gosh, if they go over, that would be that'd be tough scenes. I wonder what the rest of their schedule looks like because, I mean, they've already played Vanderbilt, so and they lost to Arkansas twice. So like, who are the possible wins? Okay, yeah. So Missouri's last 3 games: Ole Miss, Auburn, and then at LSU.
Yeah, they ain't winning any.
I don't think they're gonna win any games, dude.
They ain't winning any.
Oh man!
And like if they win something, it's gonna be the shock of the century, just because of how bad they are.
Man, that is just brutal.
Who's the better Missouri coach, Kim Anderson or Dennis Gates?
Dennis Gates.
I don't know if Kim Anderson ever went over though. Just saying.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
To go over in SEC basketball. I get it. And listen, football is still horrible, but you get 8 games and they're usually the highest quality. But you're telling me in 18 games, 9 at home, 9 on the road, you couldn't find a way to screw around and get 1?
Right. Yeah, not 1. I mean, I'm looking at Kim Anderson right now. He was there for 3 years. He went in SEC play 3-15, 3-15, 2-16. So he at least won 2 games in SEC play every year. And here's
something to think about.
I might have the 4-man on that team.
Who's that?
Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
He came to Bud.
And everyone hates him. It was the game after the South Carolina game, after all that came out.
That's right.
Because that was another, because I remember it was a Wednesday game, I believe, is when the South Carolina game on the road took place, and then they played Arkansas that Saturday in Bud Walton because Jay Billis was there, and it was like a big ordeal. And Brandon Miller just torched him in the second half towards the end of the game. It was somewhat close, but
he went for like 40 on South Carolina in that game.
And they needed him to.
That was a wild game to watch, dude. Like just
surreal, man.
Surreal is a great way to put it. Yeah, it was insane.
Man, I'm glad we could put together a list of players that Razorback fans hate so much. Thank you, Wendell Green, for the great content that we have.
Arkansas fans hated Teddy Allen? I don't think they
had enough time to.
Yeah.
They would have, though, for sure.
Yeah. Like if there would have been, like if Arkansas would have played them to begin the second weekend, it would have had plenty of time. But
yeah,
Brandon Miller's pretty good. I mean, he's universally hated, but
hey, you want? I got another one for you, Kim English.
Yeah,
yep. Kim English.
Yeah, because he's
they hated him as a player and a coach.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I forgot
good,
about
he had the beef with Muss early in his tenure.
When he was where was he at? Tennessee?
Yeah, I think he's like
where he was the
on
assistant.
Rick Barnes' staff.
Yeah.
But didn't he go somewhere else? I think he went like Northeast somewhere to be an assistant somewhere else. I could be wrong. I guess.
Well, he did. Well, he wound up getting the head job at George Mason, and now he's at.
That's what it was.
Providence.
Yeah,
he took over.
That's
for
Cooley.
Yeah, but Kim English is very seldom. Can you have both the combo of hating as a player and as a coach?
Yeah,
but,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good pick.
For those who need context, by the way, Kim English was the one that was subtweeting Muss and about his antics on social media and everything, and everyone knew who it was about. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. By the way, Arkansas baseball, for those of you who were wondering, Arkansas's up 5-1. There's 2 outs, top of the 9th, runner at first, and the count's 1-2. So if Arkansas gets one more strike or gets an out here, they win game 1 over Murray State. So yeah, those of you wanting the updates. Why'd they play this game at 3?
I don't know. I like the Friday night games. Those are vibes, man.
I know.
Yeah. Play the weekends in the afternoon, and
yeah, like that's what I would like. It's just
it's a little chilly today, but like
it's on
if
SEC
it was a
Network
7
Plus,
o'clock game,
right?
I'd be there. Yeah.
So you could play it at any time, right? I think it's 6 o'clock. So I don't want to know what happened. Is this a wild pitch? I guess. Oh yeah. Okay. So he swung at it on 2 strikes. He swung at it, but it went off the catcher's glove. He didn't hit it.
He got to first. Okay.
So he got to first. Oh, that's stupid.
And Kingsley said the San Diego State coach from Maui.
Yeah.
Yeah, or whichever player. I can't remember who was the player.
That was like you chasing after Muss or chasing after whoever
I can't remember
he was.
which one it was, but
there was a fan that was chasing after Muss too.
It's also true. It's like a swarm of people.
It was quite a wild scene over there. I was not in Maui. You guys were you guys in Maui?
We were in Maui. Nah, I did the Bahamas, but not Maui.
I know Branson was in Maui, but
Maui was one of the reasons that my former employer was like, "You need to go to the Bahamas
because it's wild stuff."
Yeah, because there was just a whole lot of speculation going on after.
I would have,
Maui.
dude. I would have loved to have been there in Maui and just like because it was such a small basketball court in such a small space, and
it's a matchbox in there.
And it was heated. That game against all of them were pretty heated, but San Diego State, there was a lot of heat in the building.
Yeah.
And San Diego State, that was the game that they had no business losing. They should not have lost that game because it came down to them inexplicably fouling Anthony Black when they were up 4.
It was a really, really strange.
Weird. Yeah. And then he makes the free throws. Then Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, gets the steal on the inbound.
Yep.
Calls timeout. And then I think Arkansas ties it with a Kamani Johnson putback. Or maybe, no, that was the buzzer beater to send it to overtime.
Send it to OT.
Yeah, it was a Kamani, just like we all intended. A Kamani Johnson putback. And then, that was a lot of fun. And then, all the stuff. Okay, Arkansas won. There you go, folks.
There we go.
Strikeout to end the game for Gabe Gackle. 5-1 final. Razorbacks are 1-0 in the season.
Gabe Gackle, dude.
Yep. Well, I just remember when when Arkansas came back from Maui, and I started kind of asking the questions to some of the guys and even to Muss about are you guys embracing being the bad boys of college basketball? Because I just remember listening to so many reports and podcasts. I remember the Titus and Tate thing where they were there.
Yes.
And they were talking about being courtside for the Creighton game. And they were just some of the trash that Arkansas was talking during this game was outlandish. Just some of the things they were saying. And at the time, I was very much great.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
I do too.
I love it.
Yeah. What was because it makes you wonder, was Muss telling them, because they had no reason to hate San Diego State or anymore against San Diego State. So Muss had to build something, right, from that? Because he hates San Diego State.
Oh, yeah. That goes back to his days in Nevada.
He did
not
have a lot of success against San Diego State when he was there.
And because I'm not saying it was weird behavior, but it was, Muss throwing the L as he's walking off. And then they had to put out
iconic Muss photos.
Dude, it's great. I still put that in the museum. Put that in Crystal Bridges, that picture of him throwing the L. But that was also wild, too, because not only did he throw the L, but then they had to apologize. Or I think Juracek made him apologize. Or somebody, he had to put out an apology.
Yeah.
Which.
Release with a typo in it.
Oh, what was the typo in?
I can't remember, but it was right away in the release there was a typo.
Dude, golly, that was so much fun.
It wasn't. I think it was the person who was in charge of putting said releases out that did that, but still,
Do you think Muss was told to apologize? Right, he did not do that on his own. He was told to.
I'm fairly certain that would be the case. Yeah,
and I guess technically he only does have one boss, so.
Yeah,
we can kind of put 2 and 2 together on who was the one that made him apologize. But
imagine that conversation.
That's what I was just about to bring up. How do you think it went?
Eric, you can't do that, okay?
We let you get away with a lot here, all right? And listen, I agree there, Coach. I would have thrown it up too. I get it.
That person probably was a loser.
Yeah,
it's making its rounds in the papers over there.
We just need to get ahead of this story. We need to just squash it and just show that hey, we're good and everything's fine. Because here's the deal: if it was whoever, I don't know who took that picture of him throwing the L, but that is the only evidence of that entire thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was because we just
the San Diego Tribune or whatever it is.
Because there was something that happened on the court where people were running around and everyone was like, "What's going on?" And it was just heated. But then
that might be right because I remember that outlet was pretty much all over everything that was uttered about that incident.
Right.
Yeah, they were getting their money's worth out of that story. I can tell you.
Yeah, they were.
That was one of the great coaches' moments because Arkansas's had some coaches lose their minds. Think about with Bobby Petrino when he looked over at the sidelines to LSU in 2011 and said, "Bleep you, mother bleeper," to Les Miles and didn't shake his hand. That was some good stuff there from old Bobby. Even I want to say Dave Van Horn's not really had other than I guess the Tony Vitello thing. Was
man,
was pretty intense.
That was pretty heated.
And that's so funny because they're still best friends, but just that's the time that they chose to do it, and they settled it, and they got after each other. But yeah, so there's those moments. I'm trying to think of any other coaches' moments of Razorback coaches going at it. And
didn't Nolan Richardson walk off the floor prematurely?
Against Texas.
Yeah.
Yep. Which was a great mind because here's the thing about that game. I wasn't I'm barely alive when it happened, but just hearing the stories is against old Teddy Penders at Texas. and it was in the Southwest. I believe it was the Southwest Conference tournament because they would hold it out in Austin. They'd hold it like at Texas in their arena. So he hated it already, and of course his history with Texas, and so he hated Texas, which just made him fit right in with Arkansas. But when they called a flagrant foul on Lee Mayberry, Nolan just took his coat and put it over his thing and walked off the court, walked right in front of the bench of Texas. And Penders is screaming, like, tee him up or whatever. And they're like, he's allowed to leave the court. At least at that time, you were allowed to leave the court. And then Lee Mayberry hits a three to send it to overtime, and he comes back. And in the press conference, again, I don't think there's any video of it, but they asked him, like, Coach, why'd you leave the court? He said, the game was making me sick to my stomach. It's like I had to leave.
It's terrific.
Yeah, we probably need to ask Bob, but Bob probably remembers that story like it was a couple hours ago.
I'd say Bob probably has the whole play-by-play in his mind that he could break it down. But that was a great moment,
That was
too.
a good one. I mean, we remember when Frank Haith went after Mike, but Mike didn't.
Mike
was
laughed
his
at
cool.
him.
Yeah.
Because Mike knew. Mike, oh, yeah, okay,
That
come
shot
on.
of Mike Anderson kind of smiling in Haith's direction was...
Right.
I mean, that's
better help
that's
that bear,
great, dude.
Because this is the thing. Say what you want about Mike. Everyone on God's green earth knew who was going to win that fight if he got close to Mike Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what, because if you remember, Frank Haith ran into the back of one of his coaches. Get me back. I'm about to do this. It's like, okay, buddy. Yeah, Mike Anderson was many things, and he's the guy I wouldn't want to mess with.
Yeah,
but
that's not the guy you want to get on the bad side of for sure.
No. But yeah, I think that's probably might at least be the only moments of coach on coach or coaches with other
do
players.
We have I can't think of a Sam Pittman moment where I've seen him.
He's too nice.
He's a very nice guy.
And everybody, and all the other coaches love him. Like, he's not he's not like, Drinkwitz, that he's just a moron, or that you have, Lane Kiffin because he trolls a little bit. Pittman's just like, everybody likes him, and he gets along with everybody. He's just there. So, yeah, I don't think we have one with Pittman. Bielema. His was more like on Twitter and on.
He had him and Cliff Kingsbury went back and forth because he said he whooped Texas Tech's tail the previous year
with a fullback,
and then with a fullback, and then Cliff Kingsbury was like, what did he say? He said like if last year's game was a.
Yeah, he said something to the extent of he said that you came at a Texas high school coaches clinic and said that they beat our with a fullback and how our system you're not going to be physical enough. And he's just like, he's like, well, today he got his rear end beat or like something like that to where he kind of flipped it on him.
Yeah, I was like a little salty.
But here's the thing: is I get it, but Cliff Kingsbury, it's not like he was known for doing that against other coaches. So it's kind of like Bielema, that dude had it coming a lot of times. Like the thing with Malzahn where he said that like player safety, and that's why they don't do the no huddle stuff. And Gus Malzahn's like, I thought it was a joke when he said that, and he's like, Bielema says he said that. Well, I'm not a comedian, and he goes into this whole thing about how this is so serious and stuff. I was like, dude, you're just like, I always argue like it's bad enough to where you're getting like talking somebody like that, and then they beat you. But it's another thing when you suck and you're talking noise. It's like exponentially worse. And I feel like that's how it was with Bielema. Chad Morris was too dumb to even have anyone hate him. He was too easy.
Chad Morris, we would talk to him before practice, and we would ask him about the availability of a player. Oh, no, I don't think so. We're really hoping to get him back out there, back out here tomorrow. And then as soon as he says that, the boy runs out on the field without a green jersey on. He just, come on, man.
And do you have that written on his notes that he had that he'd show?
It was comedy.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. Iron sharpens iron. He always said that.
That was maybe my favorite part about covering Chad Morris was, he allowed like his maybe mismanagement or his inability to properly communicate allowed guys like me who were writing practice reports to get a little bit snarky. Maybe it was like Chad Morris said so and so. Also, he ran out of the indoor field 30 seconds later.
So it wasn't,
and I would write it because it's true. Like it was true.
Yeah, it's like you could have just not said that, and then it would have been okay.
Yeah,
but
the last thing he can do is say I don't know. But then again, maybe the last thing you can do is say no, and then dude's out there running on the field with a helmet on.
Yeah, I will say the best thing.
It was just hilarious. That was a time.
Best thing that Chad Morris ever did was make have put together the media golf tournament. I don't know if you ever went to that, the golf scramble for the media. It's about the only thing he did.
I was at that because I think there were interviews with like who was it at the time, like Tremaine Carroll.
Yes.
Or was it maybe the guy before him? But he would talk about off-season weight gains and stuff. And,
yes.
Yeah, and then they would go play golf. I didn't participate in the golf, but yeah, I bet that was interesting.
Yeah, no offense if they're listening or watching, but I'll say that I was that's where you really find out like where you at on the totem pole in the media in Arkansas, because I think I ended up playing with 2 SIDs. Not a coach.
Yeah.
Not an assistant coach. Not a player. Not a grad assist. No, I got the SIDs. So I'm like, all right.
Neat.
See where that's coming from. So that was about the only thing Chad Morris did. They need to bring that back.
It's good to make connections with the SIDs.
I know. Well, and it's also.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who was there during that time, but like the group now, I wouldn't mind playing golf with.
Yeah. No, it was Kyle Parkinson.
Okay.
But I didn't play with him. It was John Thomas who was baseball SID.
Yeah. Kaywood can play a little golf. Kaywood can swing it pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
I play golf with Mike.
I played golf with Kaywood. Let's set that up.
Yeah, hopefully get us out there at Paradise Valley. That'd be nice.
That'd be sweet. We could do that. Because it was also, guy's name was Mario, and I think he just got hired as the women's
he's
SID.
He's at Northwestern now.
Yeah, so that was him. So yeah, we played golf, and that was it. So, but yeah, bring that back. Bring back the flag football game for media. We needed to do a pickup basketball game for the media.
Yeah, I kind of want to do like a role reversal type thing where the media members play basketball and then the basketball people like write about us, or
that'd be funny.
Or like have a press conference and they ask us questions.
Yeah, see, absolutely.
And I think it'd be awesome too. And again, it just sucks that basketball has such a poor taste in people's mouths right now. I think it'd be awesome too if Muss was the official. He's the ref.
Oh yeah.
During the game, I think he'd be all about it, or at least something in that role.
Yeah. What if he was one of the coaches on the teams?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at all.
Get back, Scotty! Hustle.
Because what if he? Because
Coach, I'm trying. I'm dragging here.
Because if he complimented me, I'd be like, you know what? I think I could play for the Hogs.
Oh yeah.
Just one, like if I made one shot, or like I had a nice drive to the basket, be like, dude, I had a good job. Be like, man, don't tell me that, because now I feel like I can do it. I can play.
I was like, if you're counting on me to get back in transition defense, you need to find somebody else, because I am not that guy.
No. Oh, man. Yeah, so we need to set that up. That should be easy to do. They're always afraid about we're going to get hurt. It's like, shh. You can't get hurt playing basketball.
There's a non-zero chance that we get hurt just like walking around.
True.
So like,
well, that's what they
sweat that.
That's what none of them are here anymore, so it doesn't matter. But when they did the flag football deal, I think it was 2016. That's when we did it. In the summer of 2016, on the football field, it was Patrick Pearson and everybody. The SIDs were like, we thought about having people sign waivers, but then we're like, that's probably just going to mean someone does get hurt, so let's just risk it. No one got hurt. Yeah. Nothing happened.
We're not athletic enough for anyone to get seriously hurt.
But you say that, but then there's going to be some media members who are be like, I'm going to take this for real. This is real stuff.
I've had that situation with a current media member the last time we played pickup.
Yeah.
And but we were okay, you know. Tom Murphy, man, which I know you know that he was the guy at the football thing. Basketball court too, he just gets after it.
He's a baller, dude.
He showed up in like planting my petunias boots, and dude, he was going after.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds awesome.
No, it's like, you know what I mean. It's like kind of like hiking boots or boots that you would wear out in the garden.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he's got a garden. That
I thought you were saying they were like girly boots. I'm like, what?
Oh, no.
There? Okay,
that was probably a bad way to frame it.
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding.
He was the Anderson Garcia of pickup basketball. He's like 6 points, 17 boards every game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like not a knock at Tom. He was like, he didn't get off the ground. He was just like, he carved out his space, and he
moves
grabbed
bodies,
his rebounds. And there was one time, and I didn't even know it until after the game was over. He went up for a rebound or something, and like, was it his pinky?
It was one of his fingers.
One of his phalanges.
One of the fingers on his hand just like popped out of place, and then in game popped it back in. I didn't know about it until after the game was over.
It's pretty much the same thing as Kobe. You know, Kobe had to have that.
Very similar.
Just popped it back
very
in.
similar.
Dude.
If you did a side-by-side, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, honestly.
Yeah, because that's why I'm so glad you guys got to experience that, because I try to tell people who weren't in the media and at that media football game that we had that Tom Murphy was out there looking like I mean, he because who was the tight? I wanted to mention, and I just lost it. The tight end that played at Kent State basketball and was at the Chargers forever.
Antonio Gates.
Yes, thank you, Antonio Gates.
People forget he played basketball. Yeah.
Yes, for Stan Heath. But yeah, it was he was out there as a tight, just wrecking, and I'm like, who is this man? I would have never guessed, and I don't mean that in any insulting way. It's just
no, he was probably a dude at Smackover.
Yeah, is that where he's from?
Where he grew up. Yeah, I think so.
Him and Jonathan Monica, dude. The pride of Smackover.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Pookie Monaco. But yeah, I loved watching Tom out there. That dude cracked me up, and I'm like, all right. And that's another thing too, is because if that game hadn't happened, I would have never known that about Tom. I would have never known that this guy. So I was like, man, maybe we need to do baseball and see if he's cranking homers out.
Yeah,
like the way he's playing. So
I mean, spring is coming here, so we need to start thinking about the the beer league softball for Natty State Sports. We got to get in some kind of league or something.
Yeah, we got to showcase what we're capable of.
Yeah,
and what we're gonna do.
Sure.
So because that's what people really want to see.
That's right.
Yeah, Tom was somewhere in between, he was like a Kamani Johnson, Trey Wade hybrid, where he was like rebounding machine, but he had also you could count on him to do his job.
Yep.
I mean.
Professional job doer.
Yes.
Tom
I
Murphy.
think we're out there calling him Rodman. He's just eating up every miss.
I'm going to get with Kyle Parkinson, and I'm going to be like, let's set up a flag football game at the conclusion of spring practice. Like, let's do it. I'll be in charge of the invites because I don't want to invite just everybody. Only the astute members of the media.
Yeah.
None of these people that just, pretend and play media. Like, no, we're getting the real, legitimate, hard-hitting Big J journalist out there. And then we're going to have some fun playing some flag football.
Yeah, as long as Sam Pittman's there and I can make an impression.
There you go. There you go. Because I'm just going to be honest about it, too. Call it lame. I don't care. When I caught a touchdown pass and I caught it in Razorback Stadium, that may have been one of the coolest moments of my life. I'm just saying. It didn't hit you. It didn't hit me until it happened. But I caught it in the south end zone. I caught it, and then I kind of ran up and I has the hedges or the grass that's right there, and I sat there. I'm like, oh man, oh yes, yep. Because again, it was a flag football game, and you could go out, even if I went out there and I threw one or someone threw it to me, just another guy out there throwing a ball to me, it would have been fine. But since it was actually a competitive game and all that, and I did it, I was like, "Ooh, buddy, that's chef's kiss." It's not going to be anything.
I get that, dude. I was when I was in college, I had my buddy Ryan Taylor was friends with a couple of managers under Mike Anderson, and they would run fives in Bud Walton. And the first shot that I made running fives in Bud Walton, it was just like you mentioned, it was one of the coolest things, man. And that court, I swear to both of y'all, it felt like that court was 200 feet long.
Yeah.
Coming from Sparkman, our gym was so old, the floor was only 84 feet. It's 84 feet long. And then Bud, it just I guess it's because it's just so massive. The court feels like you can look down at it in some angles and think it's, small relative to the building or whatever. But it felt like I was running a 400 every trip up and down.
Dude.
It was crazy. It was a great time.
That's just, again, that's why these things have to happen, just so I can feel that. I probably, my luck, I'll get in there in basketball and we'll make a shot. But it's if I make one, 1-3, the game winner, I'm walking off the court. I ain't playing any more games. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do anything else. It's this is prime. This is how it feels.
Yes.
Scotty Thurman, Ronnie Brewer, Matt Jones, me, all the same, all the same feeling and all the same stuff. I can't wait. So
continue that Fayetteville High pipeline, John.
That's right. Sir. That's right. Fred Gully.
Mm-hmm. Kiko Hadar. I feel like I'm missing one. It's probably some random one out there. Well, Fayetteville had some really good basketball players. It's always had a good basketball team.
Austin Blake.
Is he from Fayetteville High School?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Jeez, well, that makes me disappointed. When I hung out with him, I would have had a connection there. I didn't even know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fellow Purple Dog. Well, hey, they got to keep the tradition going somehow.
I vaguely remember him playing there.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't covering Fayetteville at the time or high school sports anymore. At that time, I think I remember hearing about him.
Hey, I just remember. I remember calling because I was back when I called Bentonville basketball when Malik Monk was there, and they bought. I think he beat Fayetteville only one time in his entire career, but watching the game, and it's talking about a throwback. Watching the game of Malik Monk and Bentonville going up against Peyton Willis and C.J. O'Grady
on
the Fayetteville basketball team. was always a peak hype.
One of the best high school games I've ever seen was Archie Goodwin and Sylvan Hills against Pulaski Academy when it was Dusty Hanna's, and you know who was setting picks for him? Hunter Henry.
Oh, yes.
Dude.
That was a fantastic game, dude. Dusty went for, gosh, I should have brought this up to him yesterday. He went for like 40, and I think he made 1 3.
Man, so he's getting to the rack?
Dude, he was cooking.
Man.
Yeah,
you should have brought that up to him. That would put a big smile on his face.
Archie, those PA boys had Archie Goodwin like 10 times as mad after that game.
Yeah. It's funny when you always think back to those times like in-state kids that were football players, but then played basketball still on the high school team. Like, oh, yeah. Like, I remember Cody Burns watching him play basketball for Northside way back in the day. And, it's almost like if you played football and you were a great athlete, you were going to play basketball too. And just stick with it and go along with it. But
wasn't Chambly, Andrew Chambly was a really good basketball player, right? Is that him?
That sounds right, actually.
I think so.
And Maumelle?
Was he at Maumelle?
Yeah.
I think that is right.
Because he's trying to see if they had anything about it in his football bio, but they don't. But not. I'm pretty sure it was him.
Could that have been Nico?
Oh, maybe it was Nico. Maybe
Nico
that's.
Davier.
I think he's a Maumelle kid too.
Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Yeah, there's a few of those that like just were. Yeah, again, you had to. Well, people don't forget. Not that it matters, but going back to Fayetteville High School when Ronnie Brewer played there, people forget Wallace Spearman was on that team too.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you remember this, Scotty, but a guy named Cedric Logan, who was a 4-star wide receiver. He's part of the 04 class, but he was a football player. He's a great wide receiver. He came to Arkansas, but just never. I think he ended up transferring to UCA. But anyways, all 3 of those dudes were on basketball. Oh, and Blake Parker was on that team too.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that to me was pretty pinnacle as far as athleticism and everything, but that's about as good as it
Nico
got.
averaged 11 and 6 on a team that went to the state title game.
What school did he play for?
He was Maumelle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, Maumelle's putting out some dudes apparently.
Shout out to my guy Jonathan Toombs. He coached me in AAU ball. I think he's coaching some football and some basketball at Maumelle. It's a good dude.
Yeah. It's always cyclical and stuff down there in the central Arkansas area of what ends up happening, like with teams and players and all of that. So, but all right, we're flying by. Look at that, reminiscing and talking about great stuff is like a perfect way to kick off the Friday and get into the weekend too.
Yeah,
but
man.
This is what it's all about. But I will say though, we got to tell you about our friends over at Manscaped because you got to keep your grooming on point, fellas, because we know that when it gets warmer outside, you're going to be wearing a little bit less, having that polo shirt just go down a little bit further. Maybe you got those V-necks going, and you don't want to be looking like you're smuggling Chewbacca down there. So what you're able to do is able to go over to manscaped.com and check out all the different products that they have to choose from and get your grooming to a next level type of deal and to really make the lady happy. And because that you listen and watch the John Nabors Show as well as all of our great content at Natty State Sports, if you go to manscaped.com and use promo code Natty, that's N-A-T-T-Y, Natty, you get 20% off your next order plus free shipping. Both of those things happen. You just use promo code Natty, N-A-T-T-Y, plus getting that 20% off, plus getting that free shipping. It gets you the greatest grooming you can ever have. And guys, let's be honest, we all need it. So again, check out all the great different products that they have to choose from at manscaped.com. You'll be using promo code Natty for 20% off and free shipping. We'll take our final break here on the show. Get into, hey, did y'all see this? Close up shop and get you all ready for the weekend coming up next here on the John Nabors Show. So stay with us.
We not done yet either. So don't be satisfied. We not done.
I mean, honestly, I don't really remember post game. I guess I black out after games, winning and losing.
You missed it. You missed it. You missed the game. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go to it. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? What took you there? It's just so weird. It's
visiting friends, but yeah, Dixon Street.
Dixon Street?
Yeah, Dixon Street was, it'll get you.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you've got a new coach now. you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile! Smile!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Nabors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Nabors Show here live from the Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate each and every one of you watching in and listening in. Just got about 15 minutes before we close up shop here on the show, and it's going to be a great one because a reminder to everybody out there watching and listening, we are going to be doing a live stream for the Arkansas-Kentucky basketball game tomorrow, starting at, was it 12:30? We'll start whenever. Who cares? We'll decide, and we'll do that, and then because the baseball game kind of goes at the same time, right? Because it's at 2 o'clock.
Starts at 2, yeah.
So there'll be a little bit of an overlap there. Depending on how the game goes, we may just switch it to being watching the first few innings of the Razorback Baseball game, watch party instead, just if it goes out of hand. How do we feel that happens tomorrow for Arkansas basketball? Like, honestly, do they win? No.
No. I don't think they're
Is it a good game, though?
I don't think they're going to embarrass themselves, though. Like, I think they'll compete, lose, but...
Yeah. I'm about to say.
I think they might cover that 13.5.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot, man.
That's a lot of points.
I could see it being a game where they never necessarily threaten to win, and they wind up losing by like 9 or 10.
I could see that. Yeah.
I could envision a scenario where the last 30 seconds of the game are very crucial for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like maybe
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Maybe Arkansas is up by 14 and somebody adds a useless layup with like 6 seconds left, and then Cal demands that Rob Dillingham just dribbles the ball out.
Yeah.
That'll be at least. I look at it as if Arkansas can just be. I don't even know what I'm saying because it doesn't matter. Like, if those were competitive, like, what does that do?
Nothing.
Man, we have said it doesn't matter so many times this week, and
but yeah, we keep talking about it. But it's like I know it's part of it, and it's just that's where I feel like I'm being such a what's the word?
Like a Debbie Downer?
No, like a
pessimist.
No, it's like whenever you're like you keep saying one thing, but yet you don't actually do it. I don't know. That's what I feel like.
A liar?
Yeah, maybe that's it. I feel like such a liar because I keep saying like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? But yet I'm still here talking about it, and we're still going to watch it. We're still going to stream it. We're still going to get frustrated by it. Actually, I don't know. We probably won't I won't get frustrated by it.
It'll probably turn into like a lot of sarcastic humor really quick.
Yeah,
is what I'm guessing.
It'll turn into a comedy show. Like, just imagine it's a sitcom. It's like The Office. We'll just make it that.
We're going to try some new bits.
Yeah,
try them out. See how they fit. See if they work out with the audience.
For sure. Yeah, we'll work some more Dracula flow in there for the real flow knowers.
Rob Dillingham, real creature.
Also, I wanted to address this real quick because I know we were talking about the Boss Hog podcast that's getting out there, and like want to say that if you're looking to sponsor any of our stuff too, and so just for NIL purposes, but if you want to sponsor this show, if you want to sponsor the Pod at the Palace, if you want to sponsor Bombastic Podcast, anything like that, hit us up because we're getting into baseball season in the thick of things, and you definitely want to be on board for what we got putting down. We got a lot going on.
Andrew's doing a great job with that baseball pod. And I mean, sounds like he's going to have guests on soon too. So yeah, it's a perfect time to hop on.
Yeah, because we're going to be doing some stuff here this week even. So we'll keep you updated on that. But just
sponsor the Natty State Sports Portal Big Board too.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that gets your business on there too, and you're going to get talked about it a lot here in about, what is it, guys? 3 weeks, 4 weeks, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, gonna have to keep that updated.
Between now and then, just send us words of affirmation because we continue to do this 3 times a week. Talk about this basketball team.
Curtis, after the Vanderbilt game the other night, was like, We were like 15 or 16 minutes in, I think, and we're just kind of looking at each other. And then he's like, "What do you want from us, man?"
We're doing our best here.
I know that, but I feel you, dude. Like, because that's the thing is, I mean, it's an honest question. It's like, what else can we do here? Like, what else? So we're trying. We're putting in the effort. Like I said, it was at the Layden blocker or the Layden blockers. We're trying. We're really hustling.
And we had a few comments on the Pod the Palace today, and again, we appreciate everybody rocking with us. But people were just like, "What? Why don't you change the subject? Why are you talking about this?" We're like, "Oh, it is the basketball podcast. What do you want from us?"
Yeah,
okay, we're doing the best we can here to make it. I don't know, at least somewhat interesting. So yeah.
Well, speaking of, I know that you were talking about a little bit, Curtis. You want to give a shout out to the managers.
Man.
And apparently some controversies are brewing in this manager basketball situation.
This game Saturday, Hogs in Kentucky, it's going to be heated. The manager games are awesome. For those who don't understand it, you haven't been watching the Pod, the Palace, or the Six Pack, because we talk about it all the time. But team managers get together and play each other often, but like the night before actual games. And this has been going on for a long time. But the Arkansas managers are taking it really seriously this year. And they have rankings, man, like national rankings, and they keep up with schedules and stats and all that great stuff. And it turns out the top 4 teams in the country at the end of the year get sent to the actual Final Four, and they get to play in the Final Four of the manager game. So it's, like there's something to play for. It's a big deal. It's cool. At any rate, Arkansas was number 6 in the country for these manager games. They were 7-3. They beat Vanderbilt on Monday night, I guess it was, who was number 4. So like they're knocking on the door of this top 4 status. And they might get there anyway. But they're obviously in Lexington this weekend. Kentucky's manager team is undefeated. They're number 1 in the country. They beat Arkansas in Bud Walton Arena right before that College Game Day game. They beat them by 6. So like it was a close game. So you're thinking, okay, like rematch. Arkansas wins this one, then the managers, they might have a trip to Phoenix lined up. But it turns out that they're not going to play. And so I think these games, like you just kind of make a phone call and schedule them and say, yeah, we'll play at this time that night or whatever. But it sounds like maybe the Kentucky managers are ducking them a little bit. And so it turns out that game's not going to happen. And that might, it literally, I know it sounds silly, like, oh, his manager's playing ball, pickup or whatever, but like it could prevent them from getting a trip to Phoenix, man.
That pissed me off.
Yeah.
If I had a chance to go to Phoenix, be like, hey, the team I'm dealing with is trash, but hey, we get to go to Phoenix.
Yeah, because like the rest of the year, I mean, LSU has a team because Arkansas beat them really bad down in Baton Rouge. But I don't know if Alabama does it or not. I went through the top 50 of the rankings to see, and I didn't see them on there. So. Like this would have been.
There were no shows.
Yeah, it would have been a cool deal for him, man. So
who comes up with the rankings? Like, how's the rankings work?
It's on. It's the same people that do the KPI, which is just a metric that's used by. It's just another one of those KenPom Torvik type things.
Hey, whatever.
But yeah,
works.
they have full on rankings and schedules and power ratings and all this stuff, and they've got a website. Like it's a real thing, man. So,
well, I hate that for them.
Me too.
And I hate that it had to be Kentucky and they're ducking them. What they say? So they have dodgeball or something? Nah. To me, that's you get a forfeit.
Yeah.
You get a forfeit. It counts as an L. And Arkansas has their rankings and they have to start moving up.
Kentucky should play because if you're the top dogs, you should win that game.
Yeah.
But even if you lose that game, you're not dropping out of the top 4.
Yeah, they'll still get in. Right. And you're scared of the Hogs on your home floor?
Yeah.
Is it a sign of things to come? Tomorrow morning?
Might
be. I don't know.
Especially if you're like, oh, we got dodgeball instead. I guess dodgeball going to help you get a trip to Phoenix. Bet it's not. Bet it's not even going to come close to us. So that sucks. Well,
yeah, it does.
Whoever we need to call and complain to, we're going to do that.
As long as the managers know that we support them and we have their back.
Yep.
And,
Kingsley said Kentucky.
That's well done. That is well done. Matter of fact, Kingsley, I'm gonna shout you out on this, but I'm tweeting that at the tweet that was put out there.
Kentucky. I love that. Also, Kingsley wanted to know what we're having for dinner. It's a question of his day because he's whipping up some red chicken chili and Mexicali cornbread.
Mercy.
So, I guess
this is right. Like what he's doing.
Yeah. Thanks for the invite.
I'll probably have like big chicken or something.
I'm probably gonna have whatever's convenient.
I'll probably have leftover dino nuggets that my kids don't eat.
I'm assuming that's like chicken nuggets of sorts.
Yeah.
The ones that are shaped like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew that was something like that. But yeah, that's I know we got really crazy with your question there, Kingsley, but that's probably what's actually going to be going on. David also says, I won $250 on that from that Kentucky game with Mississippi State. Got Kentucky plus 450 with 6 minutes left. Do I put it on Kentucky again to make myself feel better tomorrow? Man, that's a lot of points. I wouldn't bet Kentucky. I'm not saying you should bet Arkansas, but 13.5 points is just a lot of points. And that game in Rupp is always competitive for whatever reason. Arkansas won last year. I don't think they played there the year before. And then the year before that, Arkansas won. Kentucky wasn't that great, but that was the Jalen Tate fouled at the end of the game. Yeah, so, I mean, that's
that wasn't a foul, but his headband got knocked down over his eyes.
Yeah. Is that so? Muss has only played at Kentucky twice.
Yeah, 2-0 in Rupp.
Wow. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but still, it's just I always forget about how Arkansas that year with Note and Williams, they had Tennessee once at home, Auburn once at home, and Kentucky once at home.
Beautiful.
That helped him out a lot, I'm sure.
Yes, indeed.
Because those games were pretty epic, and Arkansas also went 3-0 in those games, which was something. But the point is, though, David, I wouldn't touch it. But you need to do whatever you need to do. So Arkansas money line, sure, go crazy for it, make it happen.
What is that money line?
I think I saw it was like plus 600. I think. I don't want anyone coming at me if I'm wrong here.
You know what? I'm going to say Kentucky money line
plus
tomorrow.
575.
Kentucky money line tomorrow. There's a lot of value in that.
Minus 900.
A lot of value in that. Yeah, that's my free pick. That's my best bet for tomorrow. Lots of it. Ride it to minus 800. Good value.
Man.
All right.
Scotty broke it down for us.
I know what you're doing there.
That's a good bit.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I wanted to bring up some of these stories that were going on. Apparently, the NFL is trying to get rid of the chain gang with technology.
Really?
Bro, yeah, it makes sense. Like, we're in 2024, man. Why are we measuring? What are we doing with chains?
I don't know. I don't know why but people are going to lose jobs. That's why.
I wonder how much a chain gang gets paid, like for an NFL game.
Yeah, and if it's the same people, or is it like, like, oh, you're the guy and you've been doing this for a long time, so therefore you're a guy, or is it like a round robin? Like, do you have to go to training for it, and then like, if you're the best one out there, they pick you? Like, how does one get picked? How does one get that job? Because I don't feel like it's anything too intense.
This guy is elite with the sticks.
Yeah.
Like
he knows how to work a stick.
Move him up.
Knows how to work a stick. And you also have to have another guy who knows how to work the stick. So both dudes are working sticks together.
Yeah.
So it's a joint effort. But yeah.
And I mean, that's just where everything is headed, man. Like they're talking about doing an automated strike zone or whatever, instead of having a home plate umpire. But it's like in tennis, like they've got the video board where you can see if it's just, even the slightest inch out versus in. And so why can't you do that with some of these things? It'll save you a lot of time, I feel like, with reviews and nonsense and measurements, even though there's something exciting about, the chain gang coming out and you find out, oh, it came up just short. You got the turnover on downs, go crazy. But I don't know.
Yeah, I like, to be honest, I don't care if the chain gang's there or not.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Just I know there's going to be some outraged guys that I've been doing the chain gang for 17 years, and what am I going to do? How am I going to feed my family? It's like, well, that's just part of it, I guess. Also, speaking of some other things with the NCAA, at least, it looks like they are looking to enforce a few new rules that are kind of interesting. And it's all proposals. It's nothing there. But they've been talking about doing a 2-minute warning in college football. That's really the one which, let's be honest, it's for more commercials.
Yeah.
That's why. It has nothing to do with making the game better. It has nothing to do. They can say whatever. That's another opportunity for commercial break.
It will change some late game strategy stuff.
Yeah.
How you use your
now we'll do that. Yeah.
In the NFL, like if I've got entertainment on a game, like I know. Like it's a whole new ball game after the 2-minute timeout or the 2-minute warning or whatever it is. So it'll maybe add to the intrigue, but it'll also add to the time that you're watching the Whopper, 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 Whopper.
Mm.
Like you're gonna get more of that.
BK.
Yeah, you're just gonna get more of
Have
that.
it your way.
Chicken sandwich, just $5.
Not that we've seen a few of those commercials or anything. But I will say the good thing is at least the NCAA looks to be adopting the technology of the helmet microphones, and that way we don't have the Connor Stallion situation ever happening again, which is long overdue. It's sad that that's what had to happen for this to happen. But
the hand signals, the crazy poster signs that they put up. And,
Or I love the Rutgers one where Rutgers had 4 dudes that looked like Teletubbies that had big red. They had the big R on the shirt, but one was green, one was red, one was yellow, and one was like purple or something. And they were doing signals and stuff. But they all had Rutgers shirts, but they were all just different colors. I'm like, you know, I appreciate the creativity, but maybe it's just time we go for the technology and do it that way. But
yeah, what's crazy to me is it sounds like they're gonna allow like tablets on the sidelines and stuff too.
Yeah,
like I don't understand why that hasn't been.
That's what I'm saying.
That hasn't been allowed.
It's almost like they just
got to
didn't
get on the phone. You got to get on the old phone with the cord on it and like. Yeah, right, Coach Petrino, what did you see on that last pick that I threw? Like that's stupid.
Yeah, the like roll a dial thing and stuff. It's like it's like operator, get me up there to the booth. I need to talk to Coach. Yeah, I'm glad that they're getting away from that stuff, but it's just weird that it had to be this long until we finally got to that point. So, all right, guys, that about does it for us. So, any other things that you learned today at all? Have notes to close out on a high note here on the show, of course.
I just learned a few minutes ago that the Kentucky managers don't want the smoke.
That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I think I learned that Wendell Green is still bitter.
Yeah.
I learned that Josh Braun's perfectly fine talking for 5 hours straight.
Now, him and my buddy P. Steves need to get together and hang out. they could probably do a lot of conversationing if that was the case. But
I'm excited for those pods, though.
It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. Boss Hog podcast coming out next week. We'll be able to keep you all updated on that. But, hey, appreciate everybody listening in and watching into the John Nabors Show. For Curtis Wilkerson and Scotty Bordelin, I am John Nabors. Same sports show, same sports channel next Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on the live stream for Arkansas, Kentucky tomorrow afternoon starting at 12:30. You won't want to miss it, so stay tuned here on Natty State Sports.